Chapter 3501, Whoever speaks again will be slain. The three ancestors said in a low voice, I'll ask the Beast Emperor. You keep an eye on things for me, don't let any trouble happen. It was clear that the three ancestors had also realized something was amiss. In the origin continent, they had been laying plans for many years. Normally, there would be very few things they didn't know about. It was precisely in this situation where they thought they had everything under control that something outside their control suddenly appeared, making the three ancestors feel it was extraordinary. After rushing into the small town, the black-robed person disappeared from sight, but Lin Moyu locked onto him with his undead eye. He saw the person heading towards the center of the small town, taking many twists and turns, moving very quickly. But he clearly didn't know the way, not knowing the correct direction, and often went the wrong way. Strangely, some of the dangers in the small town didn't affect him, and his overall speed remained very consistent. He's indeed going for that being in the center. Despite constantly going the wrong way, he still managed to get closer to the town center, far ahead of any of the explorers in the town. Suddenly, in the undead eye, his soul flame began to burn fiercely, its range expanding rapidly. After 2 or 3 seconds, it exploded on the spot. To the naked eye, an explosion suddenly occurred near the center of the small town, shaking the entire town. The explorers in the town were startled, but then nothing else happened, and things gradually calmed down. Lin Moyu's expression at this moment was very grim. He saw that the soul flame in the center of the town was showing signs of awakening. That thing is about to wake up. Without thinking, Lin Moyu began to draw divine runes. This time, he moved extremely fast, with divine rune after divine rune flying out, glowing in the sky. He wanted to set up a divine rune formation around the town. If that being tried to rush out, the divine rune formation could at least hold for a while. Fortunately, I've practiced setting this up many times in my soul world. Now I just need to enlarge it a bit, there shouldn't be any problems. Lin Moyu thought to himself as he drew divine runes faster and faster, until only after images remained, his movements too quick to see clearly. One complex divine rune after another flew out, flying to various corners above the small town, linking together to form a ceiling formation. This was the entrapment formation Lin Moyu was most skilled at. Previously, using a combination of artifact formations and runes, he could make the ceiling formation reach the peak of the 7th grade and display the effects of an 8th grade formation. Now, using divine runes to set it up, he skipped the trouble of combining runes and formations, and made the ceiling formation's effect even stronger. Lin Moyu estimated it could at least touch the threshold of a 9th grade formation. Even if the opponent was a 9th level Dao Venerable, it could hold them back. If it was a great Dao realm being, it could hold for a while. As Lin Moyu set up the formation, his form became visible, and his actions were seen by quite a few people. Others couldn't understand the divine runes and thought Lin Moyu was just drawing regular runes. What are you doing? A Dao Venerable shouted, wanting to come up and stop him. Lin Moyu had a thought, and a Legion commander appeared in response. The Legion commander quickly summoned a dragon cavalry army, pressing down like a dark cloud. The people who were about to come up paled and frantically retreated. Don't let anyone approach the town, drive them all away. Lin Moyu gave the order, and the Legion commander acted accordingly. Just in case, Lin Moyu also released Suku. If any 7th level or higher elders came, Suku would deal with them. He now only focused on setting up the formation, not caring about anything else. The dragon cavalry army spread around the small town, surrounding it tightly, blocking anyone trying to approach. Who exactly are you? This isn't your territory, quickly move aside. Someone angrily shouted. Lin Moyu acted as if he hadn't heard, continuing to work on his own. Those Dao Venerables only dared to shout. Faced with the overwhelming and fierce dragon cavalry legion, they didn't dare to approach. Everyone could see that these beings were not to be trifled with. They weren't just for show, they would really kill people. Someone asked, who is this? So domineering. I don't know. Where did so many puppets come from, and each one so strong? It's terrifying. From what I know of the various sects, there doesn't seem to be any sect that matches this. It doesn't matter. I've already notified the elders. The elders will be here soon. Let's see if he can stop them. Most people could only complain a bit, unable to do anything else. They didn't even know Lin Moyu's identity. Half an hour later, a powerful aura flew over from afar. Someone shouted, "The elder is here." The elder is at the 8th level. Let's see how they stop this. That's right, that guy is in trouble now. A group of people were already waiting to watch the show. A white-haired old man rushed to the front and stopped. Someone immediately went up to explain the situation to him. The white-haired old man swept his dignified gaze around and shouted, "Which junior released these puppets? Quickly move aside." No one responded to him. His face showed some displeasure. "This old man will count to 3. If you don't move aside, this old man won't be polite." As he counted to 1, a gap suddenly appeared in the cavalry legion. Just as everyone thought they were going to move aside, Supu flew out holding the cloud-piercing sword. Supu didn't waste any words, directly attacking this 8th level elder, while at the same time, a terrifying aura rose, transforming into a huge 8-tailed celestial fox. The white-haired old man exclaimed in shock, "8-tailed celestial fox, 5th level." The next second, he turned and fled, instantly escaping far away. Supu swung the cloud-piercing sword, and a sword light chased after him, arriving before he did. Faint screams could be heard, and that elder fell from the sky, then barely stabilized himself, slowly flying towards the distance. The Tao Venerables had extremely keen eyesight and saw blood sprinkling in the distant sky. That elder who had come so fiercely fled faster than anyone. Everyone looked at each other in dismay, never imagining that there would be a 9th level Tao Venerable presiding here. Supu said expressionlessly and coldly, "Whoever speaks again will be slain." For a moment, everyone fell silent. At the scene, apart from the sound of the wind, there was no other noise. Faced with a 9th level elder, who would dare to speak? Lin Moyu spent an entire day setting up the sealing formation. The sealing formation enclosed the entire small town. Anything inside wanting to come out would need his permission. After setting up the sealing formation, Lin Moyu didn't stop but began to set up another formation, the space-rending killing formation. The space-rending killing formation was set up inside the sealing formation, specifically for killing the opponent. Finally, after a day, the 3 ancestors' voice came from the formation used to contact them. "Little Lin, how's it going?" Lin Moyu said, "The being in the center of the small town is reviving. At the current rate, it will awaken in about 3 days. I've set up a sealing formation and am now setting up a space-rending killing formation. I hope they can hold it back." The 3 ancestors said, "Keep setting it up. Although it won't have much effect, it's better than nothing. The Beast Emperor and I are making preparations. We'll arrive in about 2 days. If it wakes up early, you hold on for a while." Lin Moyu made an sound. "I understand. Come as quickly as you can. I can feel that being is very strong. I'm afraid I can't hold on for too long." Understood. The 3 ancestors' voice disappeared as they went to make preparations. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3502, 3502. Chapter 3502, The Black Slaughter Puppet. Lin Moyu continued setting up the space-rending killing formation. In the center of the small town, a powerful aura was reviving. This aura was chaotic, powerful, and even carried intense killing intent. Lin Moyu, bearing terrible killing intent himself, was very sensitive to killing intent. This killing intent had appeared half a day ago. Initially, it wasn't strong, but now it was getting stronger and stronger, almost becoming tangible. What kind of puppet is this? How can it have such powerful killing intent? What on earth did those great Tao realm beings create back then? Lin Moyu thought to himself, his hands not stopping as he continued setting up the space-rending killing formation. A day later, the space-rending killing formation was almost complete. The power of the space-rending killing formation had reached the 9th grade. It could kill even a 9th level Tao Venerable. But he wasn't very confident about dealing with that being in the center of the small town. At this time, above the center of the small town, a black energy was continuously surging upwards, forming black clouds that heavily covered the town. Such strong killing intent, apart from his own, Lin Moyu had never seen in anyone else. Under the cover of the killing intent, the small town had lost its light, becoming pitch black. There were originally over 300 people in the small town, but now most had come out. After coming out, they were startled by the Dragon Cavalry Legion, almost retreating back in. Lin Moyu opened a passage for them to leave. As for the people still in the small town, Lin Moyu couldn't and wouldn't manage them. He couldn't go in himself. If those people could survive, it would be their luck. If they died inside, that was their fate. Suddenly, a voice sounded in his mind, Tao Lord, did you go to the outer sky? Lin Moyu was slightly startled. How did the sleeping fallen sword star lord suddenly wake up? In his soul world, the thousand stars great Tao automatically appeared, with the fallen sword star lord's star glowing brightly. At this time, in the thousand stars great Tao, over 100 stars had lit up, each star representing a star lord. Some star lords had already found their successors and were working hard to cultivate. These successors were in Yudao City, with suitable candidates selected by the human emperor for cultivation. When they cultivate to success in the future, they will truly inherit the position of Star Lord and become members of the Thousand Stars Great Tao. Some Star Lords hadn't found successors yet, their light relatively dim. Among all the stars, the brightest was the fallen Sword Star Lord. He didn't need a successor because he hadn't fallen, he just needed time to recover. The fallen Sword Star Lord said in a low voice, I was awakened by the killing intent of the Black Slaughter Puppet. Lin Moyu said, you say this killing intent belongs to the Black Slaughter Puppet. What is the Black Slaughter Puppet? The fallen Sword Star Lord said, once in the outer sky Great Tao, there was a sect called the Tao Puppet Sect, specializing in researching the way of puppets. They went very far on this path. All the puppets they created would have a puppet spirit, which is a treasure spirit, very powerful. During the origin catastrophe, to deal with those from the Black Blood realm, they created a type of puppet called Black Slaughter. The Black Slaughter puppet could transform the bloodiness on the battlefield into killing intent, then use the killing intent to grind down the strong ones from the Black Blood realm. It could be considered the nemesis of the Black Blood realm. At that time, they killed many people from the Black Blood realm, but later, they encountered some problems. Lin Moyu asked, what problems? The fallen Sword Star Lord said, their advantage was absorbing bloody aura and transforming it into killing intent. The Black Blood realm was most skilled at manipulating bloody aura, so they could restrain the Black Blood realm. The problem was also here. They absorbed too much bloody aura, and their treasure spirits were contaminated, resulting in them becoming unable to distinguish friend from foe. At first, only a few Black Slaughter puppets had problems, but later more and more had issues. In the end, the Tao Puppet Sect could only seal these puppets, along with the Tao Protection Fortress that carried the puppets. The Tao Protection Fortress should be outside the origin continent. How did it appear here? Lin Moyu sighed, it's a long story. Due to some accidents, it's here, and someone has awakened it. Do you have any good solutions? The fallen Sword Star Lord said, except for the Tao Puppet Sect, no one knows how to seal it. We can only find a way to destroy it. But its power is very strong, not weaker than an 8th grade innate soul great Tao realm being. It's very difficult to destroy it. Lin Moyu understood why the three ancestors were wary of this thing. It was because the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor couldn't exert their full power on the origin continent. But this Black Slaughter puppet didn't have this problem. It could wreak havoc without restraint. A puppet equivalent to an 8th grade innate soul great Tao realm being, if it went berserk on the origin continent couldn't hold it back. The entire eastern continent would be destroyed in a short time, and the three ancestors' plans would be completely ruined. Lin Moyu suddenly realized that those hidden in the dark wanted to destroy the three ancestors' plans. When they were in the northern continent, they wanted to shake the Beast Emperor's position. This is aimed at the great changes in heaven and earth. Could it be that they also have great Tao realm beings behind them? Lin Moyu realized the seriousness of the problem. On the origin continent, there might be another great Tao realm being hidden, also seeking the great changes in heaven and earth. The fallen Sword Star Lord said, Tao Lord need not worry. I can strike with my sword to slay it. However, after striking, I will sleep for a long time, not knowing when I will awaken. Lin Moyu's heart settled a bit, I'll try not to let you take action. After all, there were the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. If the sky fell, there were tall people to hold it up. When would it be his turn? Moreover, if the opponent really caused massive destruction and damage, the karmic consequences would all fall on the three ancestors' head. After all, this matter arose because of the three ancestors. The three ancestors also understood this point, so they would definitely do their utmost. Lin Moyu also pondered, if the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor really couldn't handle it, what should he do? The fallen Sword Star Lord was definitely the last trump card. He could use corpse explosion. He had a drop of black blood, but he didn't know what effect it would have. There was also the question fruit mirror, which could reverse cause and effect, directly killing the black slaughter puppet. However, afterwards, he would have to seek the cause, and he would definitely suffer backlash. He just didn't know if his talent would be useful. Comparatively, the fallen Sword Star Lord was the safest option, but Lin Moyu least wanted to use it. When he entered the Great Dao realm and went to the outer sky Great Dao, that would be the time for the fallen Sword Star Lord to truly show his power. Using it now would be too wasteful. The killing intent in the small town was getting thicker and thicker. 2 days later, the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor arrived together. It was as if they descended from the sky. Lin Moyu immediately let them in. Both were hidden in mist, their expressions unclear, but Lin Moyu could feel their solemnity. The three ancestors first looked at the formation Lin Moyu had set up and asked, "Can your formation move?" Lin Moyu thought for a moment, "If I make a few modifications, it can move." The three ancestors said, "Then make the modifications." Lin Moyu nodded and began to draw divine runes. The Beast Emperor said, "Brother Lin's attainments in divine runes have surpassed many people." Before Lin Moyu could be modest, the three ancestors had already spoken, "Now is not the time for compliments. Let's deal with the problem first." The Beast Emperor snorted lightly, "This is the trouble you caused. This emperor is just doing a job for pay." The three ancestors said, "If something really goes wrong, you won't be able to escape either. That old fellow is really treacherous, hiding for so many years before making a move." ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3503, 3503. Chapter 3503, Two Thick-Skinned Foxes. Lin Moyu modified the divine rune formation while silently listening to the conversation between the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. He knew that in their upcoming dialogue, he could hear many secrets. The Beast Emperor said in a low voice, "He's been hiding in the dark, laying plans for so many years, just waiting for the great changes to approach. That old fellow is indeed treacherous, but I didn't expect he could even deceive you." The three ancestors said, "I'm not really omniscient. I really don't know what tricks that old fellow has done. He's been hiding in the dark all this time, it's really troublesome." The Beast Emperor said, "If he wants to hide, it's difficult to dig him out. But it's also impossible for him to lay too big a plan right under your nose. At most, he can only cause some small disturbances. Now that changes in heaven and earth have appeared, he knows we'll be doing many things and sometimes can't be free, so he dares to come out and make trouble." The three ancestors snorted coldly, "I've been laying plans for so many years, it's not something he can destroy just because he wants to. Don't let me catch him. If I do, I'll definitely settle accounts harshly." The Beast Emperor laughed, "It's fine. Humans have a saying, you may escape the first, but not the 15th. You and I know where his old home is. We'll find him when the time comes." The three ancestors said coldly, "That's right. We'll tear down his old home and skin him alive." Through their conversation, Lin Moyu already knew that there was indeed another great Dao realm being who had entered the origin continent and had been hiding for many years, never showing himself. He hadn't been laying plans openly, but causing trouble in the dark, and had managed to deceive the Beast Emperor and the three ancestors. Just this point alone was enough to show what kind of character this great Dao realm being was. In Lin Moyu's view, this type of person was the most troublesome. The key was, both the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor called him an old fellow, so obviously this person's seniority and age wouldn't be lower than the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. This person was likely also an ancient and powerful existence. Lin Moyu thought to himself, "It's fortunate that he's targeting the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. If he were targeting me, that would be troublesome. But I suppose he shouldn't come after me. After all, my realm is still low and I shouldn't pose much of a threat to him." At this moment, the Beast Emperor suddenly said, "Young friend Lin, you should also pay attention to your territory in the Western continent." Lin Moyu nodded, "Thank you for the reminder, Elder. I'll be careful." In the Western continent was his undead empire, where apart from Lillian, there were no living beings. Moreover, it was densely packed with his undead legions. Under the surveillance of the undead eye, even great Dao realm beings like the Beast Emperor would find it difficult to escape his notice. If there were any problems, he would know immediately. The communication between the undead legions and himself was real-time, more effective than any formation. The three ancestors said, Little Lin, just in case, why don't I send someone to your place and set up a branch while we're at it? Lin Moyu immediately refused. Thank you for your kindness, three ancestors, but this junior can manage the territory on his own. The thickness of the three ancestors' skin was fully demonstrated at this moment. Lin Moyu knew exactly what the three ancestors' intentions were. In fact, the three ancestors must also have been clear that Lin Moyu already knew his intentions, but his skin was thick enough to say it out loud. And Lin Moyu's skin wasn't thin either, so he wouldn't agree. One big and one small fox, both extremely thick-skinned, were having a shameless conversation. The three ancestors said, I'm just thinking of your best interests. You should really consider it. Lin Moyu said, this junior has nothing there, no business to be done. There's no need for the three ancestors to trouble themselves. The three ancestors said, it doesn't matter if there's no business. Sometimes we can't just think about making money. Lin Moyu said, merchants pursue profit. A loss-making business isn't good. Thank you for your kind intentions, three ancestors. One trying to force it, one refusing to accept. The Beast Emperor watched from the side, enjoying the show immensely. Lin Moyu sped up, finishing the modifications to the formation. It's done. Now the formation can move. What's the plan next? The three ancestors said, now there should be less than half a day before that fellow awakens. The Beast Emperor and I will join forces to first transfer the small town to the extreme of heaven. During the transfer process, it might wake up early. If that happens, we'll have to rely on you to hold on for a while. Lin Moyu asked, aren't you afraid that the hidden person will make a move? The Beast Emperor said, don't worry, he certainly doesn't dare to show himself now. If he dares to show his head, he won't be able to escape the three ancestors' tracking again. Obviously, the Beast Emperor knew that person very well. Lin Moyu didn't say more, then please proceed, elders. The three ancestors and the Beast Emperor exchanged glances, then rushed to the edge of the small town. They stood at opposite ends of the town, powerful energy emanating from their bodies, drilling into the ground, instantly spreading beneath the small town, like several large hands about to lift the town. The small town shook violently. At the bottom of the small town was actually a formation disc. The formation disc was activated at this moment, and the small town seemed to be rooted in the ground, resisting the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. Without the formation, forget about great Dao realm beings like the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor, even a random Dao Venerable would be enough to manipulate the small town like a toy. But because of the formation's existence, this small town not only became extremely heavy but also seemed to be integrated with the ground, difficult to shake. As a result, three ancestors wasn't enough, and they had to join forces with the Beast Emperor to do it. The small town shook more and more violently. Although the formation at the bottom of the town was strong, it still couldn't withstand the combined force of the Beast Emperor and the three ancestors. The formation disc at the bottom made cracking sounds, its power rapidly weakening. The small town slowly rose amidst rumbling sounds. The Beast Emperor and the three ancestors came under the small town, the two of them lifting the town and flying towards the sky. Lin Moyu moved the formation at the same time, rising into the sky along with the small town. At this time, there were still over 100 people in the small town. This was the last chance for these people to leave. If they really waited until the Black Slaughter puppet awakened, these people would basically have no chance of survival. Lin Moyu didn't know if the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor would save these people, but 9 times out of 10 they wouldn't. From their high perspective, their attitude towards all living beings in the world was already different. The cultivators in the small town, in their eyes, were no different from ants. They wouldn't care about them at all. Not just the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor, but Lin Moyu was also almost the same at this moment. Lin Moyu knew that he had gained a bit more compassion, not yet reaching the level of the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. He was still willing to give others a sliver of chance. The small town flew higher and higher, the shaking becoming more and more violent. In the center, the soul flame of the Black Slaughter puppet was flickering more and more intensely, its awakening process rapidly accelerating. The small town flew past 10,000 meters, then 30,000 meters, 50,000 meters, continuously rising. And the awakening of the Black Slaughter puppet was also in its final stages. Lin Moyu asked, how high exactly is the extreme of heaven? The Beast Emperor said, it's still early. The extreme of heaven is much higher than you imagine. That fellow is about to wake up. Young friend Lin, you need to hold on. The three ancestors encouraged, little one, you can do it. Lin Moyu smiled bitterly. Don't dig a pit for me. I'll do my best. Accompanied by a thunderous sound, the souls of all the cultivators still in the small town felt as if they had been struck heavily. The killing intent that had been hovering above the small town transformed into countless weapon shadows falling from the sky. Many cultivators couldn't dodge in time and were struck by the killing intent, dying with screams. The next second, tens of thousands of red lights lit up in the small town. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3504, 3504. Chapter 3504, it's really very strong. In the small town, tens of thousands of red lights lit up, each red light representing a puppet. The killing intent of the black slaughter puppet had awakened the puppets in the town that had been sleeping for who knows how many years. Most of these puppets were incomplete. They had all been to the battlefield before, severely damaged in great battles, almost scrapped, and finally returned here waiting for the Dao puppet sect people to repair them. Unfortunately, they never got that chance. Their combat power was far from what it used to be, but compared to many cultivators on the origin continent today, they were still powerful. Seeing this scene, Lin Moyu knew that those lucky ones who had escaped the killing intent earlier would ultimately be unable to escape. The saying, "Those who survive great calamities are destined for good fortune," doesn't apply everywhere, at least not here. Screams rang out in the small town. In an instant, no one inside was spared, all were killed. A shrill roar echoed through the sky, infinite sound waves pouring down from above. An invisible giant hand crossed tens of thousands of meters of void, heavily slapping the ground. Many people who had been watching suddenly screamed simultaneously, each spitting blood from the roar. Several Dao venerables with insufficient cultivation levels had their bodies burst open on the spot, suffering severe injuries. Tens of thousands of meters away, just one roar could severely injure Dao venerables. This level of strength was truly terrifying. Golden flames flowed over Lin Moyu's body, his blood essence roaring. The undying golden body shone brightly, the power great Dao moving all the blood essence in his body. After the roar, the puppets from the small town rushed out like an army being released, charging towards Lin Moyu to kill him. They seemed to be controlled by the black slaughter puppet, having also lost their reason, killing anyone they saw. Lin Moyu had a thought, and the space-rending killing formation roared into action. Space shattered, and spatial blades cut through space, also cutting through these already broken puppets. The spatial power continued to grind and kill, and the puppets collapsed one after another in space. If it were during the origin catastrophe when they were still intact and powerful, the space-rending killing formation might not have been able to kill them. But now, facing the space-rending killing formation, they could be said to have no resistance at all. Below the small town, millions of dragon cavalry soldiers charged up. The dragon cavalry didn't participate in the battle but cleaned up the battlefield, taking away all the remnants left by the puppets, leaving nothing behind. Anything that could remain after the spatial grinding was definitely top-notch material and absolutely couldn't be wasted. Lin Moyu was very economical. He wanted all good things. Even if not for himself, he had to think about the people in Yudao City. Cultivating a force required no small expense. The puppet army that rushed out couldn't even get close to Lin Moyu before being completely slaughtered. The space-rending killing formation didn't stop but bombarded the small town from all directions. Since he had already taken action, he wouldn't stop. If he was going to fight, he would fight to his heart's content. Lin Moyu used his undead eye, firmly locking onto that black slaughter puppet. It was the main target, everything else was just an appetizer. Under the bombardment of the space-rending killing formation, the small town suffered massive destruction. The buildings in the small town collapsed one after another. This was originally a military camp, not an ordinary small town. The military camp had formations set up. Although after many years, most formations had lost their effect, some formations were still intact and could operate. Some formations were activated, resisting the attacks of the space-rending killing formation. The black slaughter puppet roared for the second time, the roar more violent than before. Lin Moyu remained unmoved, controlling the space-rending killing formation to launch the fiercest attack against the black slaughter puppet. The space where the black slaughter puppet was located was completely destroyed, forming a powerful grinding force, trying to tear the black slaughter puppet into pieces. But it was too sturdy. The spatial grinding had no effect. The soul flame was still flickering there, very vigorous. Roar. A moment later, the third angry roar rang out. Many houses in the small town shattered under the roar, turning to dust. Lin Moyu was also pushed back by the roar. His expression was solemn. It's really very strong, not weaker than withering and flourishing elder. The Beast Emperor's voice came. Young friend Lin, can you hold on? Lin Moyu said, I'll try my best. Please hurry, elder. The Beast Emperor responded, all right. After the third angry roar, the black slaughter puppet finally fully revived. It turned into a black light, enduring the wild bombardment of the space-rending killing formation, and rushed out of the small town. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. The shape of the black slaughter puppet was too strange. It was 10 meters tall, with a lion's body and a human face, having 4 feet and 4 hands. The 4 feet were like eagle claws, very sharp, with the claw tips glinting coldly, obviously deadly weapons. Of the 4 hands, one pair held weapons, while the other pair held shields, forming a combination of dual shields and dual swords. However, one sword had already broken, leaving only the hilt, and one shield was also mostly shattered. The killing intent had become armor, covering its entire body. Most of its head had been shattered. From the neck up, only about a third of the head remained, with only one eye left. The remaining eye emitted red light, revealing madness. Lin Moyu had a thought, and all attacks of the space-rending killing formation instantly focused on it. Su Ku appeared beside him, holding the cloud-piercing sword. Lin Moyu didn't let him go up. Su Ku's task at this moment was not to attack the black slaughter puppet, but to protect Lin Moyu. With Su Ku's combat power, he couldn't kill the black slaughter puppet, at most he could only delay it for a while, and not for too long. The ones who could really kill the black slaughter puppet were currently lifting the small town into the sky. At this moment, the 3 ancestors let out an angry shout, and vast power swept out, forming an invisible lifting force, not only lifting the small town but also lifting the black slaughter puppet along with it. This power was formless and intangible, seemingly very gentle, but inescapable. This space was like cotton, impossible to break free from. What kind of ability is this? Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. He couldn't understand at all the method the 3 ancestors was using. But it was normal that he couldn't understand. After all, the 3 ancestors' realm was there. Under the wild bombardment of the space-rending killing formation, the black slaughter puppet was obviously uncomfortable. It swung its dual swords, instantly unleashing infinite sword energy. Su Ku stood in front of Lin Moyu, blocking the sword energy for him. The sword energy was too strong. Su Ku's body was constantly shaking, with numerous wounds instantly appearing on his skin, but he didn't retreat, stubbornly defending. Even Su Ku was having such a hard time blocking. Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh again, it's really very strong. The sword energy exploded, and the small town was once again ravaged, turning into ruins. If the formation disk at the bottom of the small town wasn't strong enough, it probably would have shattered long ago. Lin Moyu was very puzzled why the 3 ancestors and the Beast Emperor still wanted to lift the small town, to bring the small town to the extreme of heaven. And what exactly was the extreme of heaven? Lin Moyu was hearing about this place for the first time. But now he had no time to think about it in detail. Amidst the roar of sword energy, the space-rending killing formation shattered on the spot. Fortunately, the ceiling formation was strong enough and ultimately blocked the sword energy. Otherwise, if this sword energy fell onto the origin continent, who knows how many people would die. Any single strand of sword energy was enough to cut a canyon on the origin continent. Lin Moyu pointed his finger, and the skeleton hell appeared. At the same time, 10 drops of ancestor water flew out and fell into the skeleton hell, with the power of belief burning fiercely. At this moment, Lin Moyu wouldn't and dared not be stingy. Heiyu rushed out with a dragon's roar, attacking the black slaughter puppet. Su Ku also entered the skeleton hell at the same time, cooperating with Heiyu to entangle the black slaughter puppet. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3505, 3505. Chapter 3505, This Kid's Waters Run Deep. Heiyu swung its massive body, lashing out like a whip. The black slaughter puppet moved extremely fast, dodging Heiyu's attack. The hell's eye swept over, and its intense soul attack caused a slight delay in the black slaughter puppet. The soul flame flickered violently for a moment, and the killing intent on the black slaughter puppet suddenly erupted, instantly returning to normal. The netherworld flower swayed, its blue light enveloping everything, but the black slaughter puppet's aura didn't change. The killing intent blocked the blue light, preventing the netherworld flower from weakening it. The hell fiends rushed forward madly, but the black slaughter puppet swung its dual swords, unleashing infinite sword energy. The hell fiends couldn't even get close before being sliced to pieces. Heiyu's first strike missed, and it turned to lash out again. This time, the black slaughter puppet didn't dodge. Its form moved like lightning, faster than Heiyu, crossing paths and landing on Heiyu's body. Its 4 sharp claws suddenly raked down, instantly tearing off a large chunk of Heiyu. Fortunately, Heiyu wasn't made of flesh and blood, so such a scratch wasn't too serious. Su Pu attacked, manifesting his great Dao true form. 8 tails appeared behind him, twisting together to replace his hand, gripping the cloud-piercing sword. On the cloud-piercing sword, the big-headed spirit glared fiercely, shouting, "Slash!" Sword light illuminated the skeleton hell, engulfing the black slaughter puppet. The black slaughter puppet raised its shield to meet the cloud-piercing sword. Boom! The sword light exploded, and the black slaughter puppet was forced back. Cracks appeared on its shield, and its killing intent also dissipated slightly. It was no longer as powerful as before, especially its defense. The puppet's integrity had been damaged, greatly reducing its defensive power. Otherwise, with Su Pu's attack power, it wouldn't have been possible to cause damage to it. As the puppet was forced back, Heiyu's dragon breath swept over, sending it flying with a bang. The dragon head turned, its mouth biting down on it. The sharp dragon teeth bit down hard with a crunch, causing cracks to appear on the puppet's body, while the dragon teeth shattered at that moment. Even with broken teeth, Heiyu didn't let go, using its broken teeth to frantically grind. It wasn't trying to bite the black slaughter puppet to death, but to control it, preventing it from escaping. The black slaughter puppet struggled in the dragon's mouth, with Heiyu shaking violently non-stop, looking like it couldn't hold on much longer. The hell fiends took the opportunity to pounce, quickly covering the entire body of the black slaughter puppet, biting down repeatedly. The black slaughter puppet was enveloped in killing intent, which the hell fiends couldn't affect. Each bite only took away a tiny bit of killing intent, unable to cause substantial damage. Although the hell fiends could eat anything, they lacked in realm. If their realm were higher, devouring the black slaughter puppet wouldn't be difficult. Lin Moyu had a thought, and surging killing intent rose from his body. The tangible killing intent rushed into the skeleton hell, transforming into shocking waves crashing towards the black slaughter puppet. At the same time, Lin Moyu spread the wings of time curse behind his back, and the space great Dao appeared simultaneously. The wings of time curse vibrated non-stop, layer upon layer of curses falling onto the black slaughter puppet. The power of time and space fused together, forming space-time power, causing the black slaughter puppet to fall into a state of space-time chaos. The netherworld flower had no effect, but Lin Moyu's curses ignored the black slaughter puppet's defenses, having some effect. The black slaughter puppet's aura immediately weakened considerably. Under the onslaught of killing intent, the black slaughter puppet's killing intent melted like ice and snow, rapidly weakening. Mist flickered in Lin Moyu's eyes, enveloping his entire body, manifesting the Fortune Great Dao true form. He activated the Fortune Talisman, beginning to predict the puppet's next move. At the same time, the Misfortune Skull appeared in his hand. He used the Fortune Great Dao to activate the Misfortune Skull, contaminating the puppet's fortune. Perhaps because the black slaughter puppet's realm was too high, the Misfortune Skull's effect wasn't very good, with the fortune being contaminated rather slowly. In the end, realm was still fundamental. With insufficient realm, no matter what methods were used, their effectiveness would be greatly reduced. At this moment, he was almost at full power, using almost every method he could except for a few trump cards. For a time, the black slaughter puppet was suppressed by Lin Moyu, seemingly without much power to resist. However, Lin Moyu knew that this method of attack could only temporarily suppress it. Before long, the black slaughter puppet would break free. The Beast Emperor didn't think so, muttering to himself, "My goodness, young friend Lin's methods are even stronger than before." The before he referred to as when Lin Moyu dealt with Withering and Flourishing Elder. At that time, Lin Moyu was being hunted by Withering and Flourishing Elder, with little power to resist. But now, the combat power displayed by the black slaughter puppet was only stronger, not weaker, than Withering and Flourishing Elder, yet Lin Moyu could suppress it for a short time. If Lin Moyu had such combat power back then, Withering and Flourishing Elder would probably have given up on the idea of eliminating Lin Moyu early on. The three ancestors also said in a low voice, "We still underestimated this kid. He has so many messy tricks." The Beast Emperor said, "I think Lin's methods are definitely not limited to this." The three ancestors snorted, "This kid has many more trump cards. What we can see is definitely not his trump cards. Do you believe that even if we don't deal with the Black Slaughter puppet, this kid has a way to handle it?" The Beast Emperor said, "That shouldn't be the case, right?" The three ancestors snorted again, "This kid's waters run much deeper than you think." The Beast Emperor didn't speak anymore. He didn't doubt the three ancestors' words. If the three ancestors said so, there must be a reason. Lin Moyu continuously activated the Fortune Talisman, predicting the Black Slaughter puppet's movements in advance time after time, fully countering it, giving the Black Slaughter puppet no chance to break free. The Black Slaughter puppet roared incessantly, struggling frantically, but still unable to break free. After holding on for a full 5 minutes, Lin Moyu asked, "Is it done?" The three ancestors shouted, "Almost, don't rush, hold on a bit longer." Lin Moyu gritted his teeth, "I can barely hold on." He wasn't exaggerating. Under rounds of suppressive attacks, Supu had already been injured, and Heiyu's body had become tattered, with half of its dragon mouth torn apart. Countless hell fiends had died, too many to count. Fortunately, as time passed, the curse effects began to show. As the curses deepened, the Black Slaughter puppet's combat power dropped a bit more. However, even so, Lin Moyu was truly reaching his limit. He gritted his teeth and held on for another 2 minutes. Suddenly, the three ancestors shouted, "Withdraw." Lin Moyu had a thought and dispersed the ceiling formation. At this moment, the three ancestors' power suddenly increased. He used his power to connect the small town and the Black Slaughter puppet into one, even the skeleton hell unable to block the three ancestors' power. In the sky, a divine rune formation lit up. This divine rune formation was extremely complex, with all the divine runes related to space. The divine rune formation scattered colorful light, as if the Great Tao had come to guide Great Tao realm beings. But this time, they weren't heading to the outer sky Great Tao, but to the extreme of heaven. The colorful light fell, transforming into chains firmly locking the small town and the Black Slaughter puppet, then dragging them into the divine rune formation. Lin Moyu also instantly withdrew all his methods. The skeleton hell and Supu disappeared simultaneously as he watched the chains pull the small town and the Black Slaughter puppet into the divine rune formation. Within the divine rune formation, a pitch-black space automatically opened. Beyond this space was the extreme of heaven. At this moment, Lin Moyu suddenly felt he could no longer ascend. He had reached the limit of the origin continent and could not continue upward. The three ancestors pointed at Lin Moyu, "Kid, don't resist." A strand of colorful light fell on Lin Moyu, transforming into a chain wrapping around him. At the same time, 2 more strands of colorful light fell on the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor respectively. The chains retracted, pulling all 3 of them into the formation. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3506, 3506. Chapter 3506, The Extreme of Heaven, Relic from Beyond the Sky. Lin Moyu felt he had entered a special world. It was not the origin continent, nor was it the outer sky Great Tao. The chains continued to pull them, flying through this special space. Similarly, the Black Slaughter puppet and the small town were also bound by chains, flying towards the depths of the space. Lin Moyu asked, "Is this world the extreme of heaven?" The Beast Emperor said, "Yes, this is the extreme of heaven." "What exactly is the extreme of heaven?" Lin Moyu pressed further. The Beast Emperor said, "During the origin catastrophe back then, the Tao Protection Fortress was damaged, but some parts didn't completely collapse. So someone created layer upon layer of eternal spaces, burying the Tao Protection Fortress within them. The extreme of heaven is actually the tomb of the Tao Protection Fortress." The three ancestors added, "The extreme of heaven has another name, relic from beyond the sky." Lin Moyu was surprised. "The relic from beyond the sky you said you'd take me to before, is it this place?" The three ancestors said, "That's right, it's here. Look ahead, do you see that Tao Protection Fortress?" Lin Moyu looked in the direction the three ancestors pointed, seeing a fireball as bright as the sun. Beside the fireball stood a huge, majestic city. The city was extremely large, with magnificent buildings inside. Even the nine-tailed city, known as the first city of the origin continent, couldn't compare to it. The size of the entire city was difficult to estimate for now, but from its outer edges, arm-like structures extended outwards, 36 in total. At the end of each arm was a small town. They were identical to the small town that had fallen onto the origin continent earlier. 36 arms, 36 small towns, now only 5 remained. The others had already collapsed. Including the one being pulled by chains, there were only 6 left in total. The three ancestors said, "This is one of the 3 Dao protection fortresses of the Dao puppet sect. It was shattered back then, with only 6 remaining out of the 36 puppet military camps. And these 6 are also half ruined, with no ability to fight again. This extreme of heaven has been wandering around the origin continent. I calculated the timing, bringing you here by breaking through space when the 2 were closest. Unexpectedly, someone tampered with the formation, setting us up and causing an accident." Lin Moyu said, "So now you're still using the formation in the Dao protection fortress to pull the small town back?" The three ancestors said, "That's right, the Dao protection fortress has the function of recalling troops to camp. This old ancestor is just making full use of it." Lin Moyu asked, "Can you use your full power here?" The three ancestors shook his head. "No, this space isn't very stable. The power I can use is only 2 or 3 times stronger than on the origin continent." The Beast Emperor said, "If the power is too strong, this space will be broken. Then the entire Dao protection fortress might fall into the origin continent. There should still be a few black slaughter puppets in the Dao protection fortress. If they fall in, it would be quite troublesome." Lin Moyu understood. With the power the three ancestors could exert, it would be quite difficult to deal with the black slaughter puppet on the origin continent. Because they feared damaging the origin continent, which would invite heavenly punishment. They might end up like withering and flourishing elder, perishing. But here, although they still couldn't exert full power, at least the power they could use had increased significantly. Dealing with the black slaughter puppet shouldn't be a problem. However, they still couldn't act recklessly. If they broke this extreme of heaven space, and the Dao protection fortress fell, the karmic consequences would all fall on them, causing even more trouble. So when the three ancestors discovered the small town had fallen, he came to the extreme of heaven and set up a formation. He also set up a formation on the origin continent, connecting the 2 formations at the right time to open a passage between the origin continent and the extreme of heaven. The Beast Emperor chuckled. "Young friend Lin, when this matter is resolved later, you can wander around the Dao protection fortress. Take this opportunity to explore thoroughly." The three ancestors said, "I've used the formation to temporarily open a passage between the origin continent and the extreme of heaven. This passage can be maintained for about 30 days. In other words, Lin Moyu could stay here for 30 days. 30 days wasn't a lot of time, but if there were no disturbances, it should be enough." The three ancestors added, "Although the Dao protection fortress of the Dao puppet sect has been shattered, there might still be some puppets left behind by the Dao puppet sect. But don't worry, they won't be as strong as the black slaughter puppet. You should be able to handle them." Lin Moyu nodded. "Then how will the black slaughter puppet be dealt with?" The three ancestors said, "This old ancestor caused this trouble, so naturally this old ancestor will resolve it himself. You don't need to worry about it." Lin Moyu smiled. "You're so generous. But don't you want to compensate me? It was quite a tough fight earlier." The three ancestors shouted, "Get lost. Compensation, dream on. If you keep talking nonsense, this old ancestor will throw you right back to the origin continent." Lin Moyu laughed. "Just joking, three ancestors. Don't mind it." Lin Moyu knew clearly that the black slaughter puppet was caused by the three ancestors, so this karmic debt had to be resolved by him personally. If someone else resolved it, it would become karmic debt between the three ancestors and that person. The three ancestors certainly wouldn't agree to that. Even calling on the Beast Emperor to help, the three ancestors must have negotiated a price. Not having to take action himself, Lin Moyu was quite happy. As they got closer to the Dao protection fortress, Lin Moyu had already activated his undead eye to look. 1, 2, 3. A total of 5 soul flames were burning in the Dao protection fortress. Each soul flame represented a black slaughter puppet, all located in the center of their respective military camps. In the central area of the Tao Protection Fortress, that majestic city, there were no soul flames present. No soul flames meant there were no puppets with spirit cores in the city. Puppets without spirit cores couldn't be very strong. The chains were still contracting. As they approached the Tao Protection Fortress, the direction of the chains changed. The chains wrapped around Lin Moyu, flying towards the center of the city, while the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor went to deal with the Black Slaughter puppet. The three ancestors said in a low voice, "This old ancestor will come to get you when it's almost over. Don't miss the time." Lin Moyu made an sound, "Be careful too. Don't break this place." The Beast Emperor laughed heartily. "If we break it, that would be too much fun." The three parted ways. After Lin Moyu flew into the city, the chains disappeared. Standing in midair, Lin Moyu surveyed this city. The city was complex and majestic. Although most of the buildings were damaged, after countless years of erosion by time, it looked even more dilapidated. But one could still see how glorious this city once was. And this was just a fortress used for war. In the realm of the Great Tao, what glorious existences must there be? Lin Moyu used the Fortune Great Tao, raising his fortune to the limit, then flew randomly in a direction. He left his landing spot to luck. This wasn't the first time he had done this. Lin Moyu was quite familiar with it. He rushed into the city, his feet touching the ground. Divine runes immediately lit up on the ground. He had long seen that divine runes were everywhere in the city, with formations everywhere. Most of these divine runes were broken, with few still able to function. As the divine runes under his feet lit up, a force naturally arose, carrying Lin Moyu sliding forward. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3507, 3507. Chapter 3507, Fully Automated Puppet Factory. Lin Moyu allowed the divine runes under his feet to carry him forward. The divine runes brought him into building after building. Lin Moyu's eyes showed both curiosity and familiarity. The curiosity was because this was the first time he had seen such buildings on the Origin continent. The skyscrapers here were completely different from the style of the Origin continent, and instead were more similar to the steel jungles of his previous life. It was precisely because of this that he felt a strange sense of familiarity. Most of the buildings he passed were already damaged, many turned to ruins, and after countless years of erosion, had turned to sand. After his arrival, these already broken ruins quickly turned to powder, no longer showing their original appearance. In some places, because of the presence of divine runes, protected by the divine runes, they were able to maintain a relatively complete form. Lin Moyu knew that even divine runes, if not maintained, would have some problems after so many years. As he continued to look around, gradually, he finally saw the true purpose of this city, and a sense of indescribable shock rose in his heart. There weren't many things that could shock him, but this definitely counted as one. This is actually a factory for producing puppets. Lin Moyu couldn't imagine that in this world of cultivating the great Tao and magic, there would be a fully automated factory for producing puppets. Even though there were technology-based treasures like Lulien and the Human Emperor in the Origin continent, it wasn't enough to have such a large-scale automated factory. It wasn't hard to imagine that when this factory was intact, working together with the divine runes, it could mass-produce puppets. An endless stream of puppets, providing enough powerful combat strength for the entire Tao Protection Fortress. This shows that in prehistoric times, the cultivators in the Origin continent had already mastered very advanced technology. This technology was completely incompatible with the Origin continent, so it could only be said that this technology was foreign. It might have come from some technology-based world, or it might have come from the ancestral Origin land. But no matter where it came from, the cultivators on the Origin continent had made full use of it, and combined it with divine runes to form their own system. This is the Tao Protection Fortress of the Tao sect. The Tao Puppet sect must have mastered more core technology, and they might even know where these technological things came from. If there's a chance in the future to enter the outer sky Great Tao, it might be worth visiting the Tao Puppet sect. Lin Moyu continued to be carried forward by the divine runes. The divine rune he was standing on now should be something like a conveyor belt in the Tao Protection Fortress. The formations in the Tao Protection Fortress would send large amounts of raw materials into this giant factory, processing and producing step by step, finally manufacturing complete puppets, then sending them out. So this factory that looked like a city was full of similar conveyor belts, specifically for transportation. The conveyor belt carried Lin Moyu to the center of the factory. When the transportation stopped, what appeared before Lin Moyu's eyes was a circular building about 100 meters high. This building looked like a stadium from his previous life. The formation that should have been arranged here had been damaged. If the formation was still intact, the manufactured puppets should have been sent to this circular building. Lin Moyu flew up and saw that from all directions of the building, there were 16 conveyor belts coming directly. After the puppets are manufactured, they all finally come here. Is this a warehouse inside? Or does it have some other function? Enemies must have invaded here back then. The building has several gaps beaten into it, the formation has been destroyed. That means the manufacture of puppets ended here. Coming here must be very important. Lin Moyu pondered for a moment, then flew in through a gap. Before he could fly in, suddenly a strong light came towards him. Lin Moyu instinctively retreated to avoid the strong light. The strong light shot straight up to the sky, lasting for 2 seconds before gradually disappearing. The attack of the strong light was very powerful, almost surpassing the 9th level of Dao Venerable. Is this an automatic defense system? It's still operating after so many years. Lin Moyu knew he couldn't enter through the gaps, otherwise he would definitely be attacked. He wasn't clear how many such defense systems were in the circular building. If there were too many, forcing his way in wouldn't be a pretty sight. Of course, he could force his way in, but that would inevitably cause damage to this building. If there were any opportunities, they might be destroyed along with it. After all, this was one of the few relatively intact buildings in the entire city, and it was located at the center of the formation. Its defense system was still operating. This indicated that there might be some data from back then inside, which would be extremely valuable to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu pondered methods to enter. After a moment, he shifted his focus to the formation outside the building. Although the formation was mostly damaged, some of it could still be faintly discerned. Based on his understanding of formations, he could roughly guess the function of this formation. He flew around the building in circles, studying the formation. This formation seems to be for imprinting a mark. That's right, it's for imprinting a mark. Only puppets marked by the formation can safely enter the building without being attacked. Then can this mark be imprinted on myself? Lin Moyu suddenly had an idea. If he treated himself as a puppet, could the mark that was supposed to be imprinted on puppets be imprinted on himself instead? Then could he pretend to be a puppet, deceive the defense system here, and successfully enter? Lin Moyu decided to try. So the first step was to repair the formation outside the building specifically used for imprinting marks. It didn't need to be fully repaired, just partially repaired would do. Lin Moyu's experience in repairing formations at 9 Heaven's Peak came in handy again. He quickly calculated the missing divine runes in the formation, then set about drawing them. While drawing the divine runes, Lin Moyu sensed the battle aura transmitted from afar. The 3 ancestors and the Beast Emperor had already engaged with that black slaughter puppet, and obviously they were fighting fiercely. This wasn't his business. Lin Moyu continued drawing the divine runes. This time, the divine runes weren't drawn quickly. Lin Moyu didn't seek speed but stability. As long as it could succeed in one go, it didn't matter if it was slow. Several divine runes were drawn in about 10 minutes, then all flew into the formation, taking root in different positions. The newly added divine runes connected with the ancient divine runes, and this formation that had been dormant for many years began to operate again. Lin Moyu stood in the formation, simultaneously controlling the formation, leaving a mark on himself. He felt a special aura added to his body. Rather than calling it a mark, it was more like an aura for identifying identity. Lin Moyu carried this aura and entered through the main entrance of the building. The gate was incomplete. Lin Moyu walked in slowly, very cautiously, because he didn't know if the formation he had repaired would work. Fortunately, his idea wasn't wrong, and he wasn't attacked. Until he entered the building and saw the weapon that had attacked him earlier. It was something shaped like a large cannon, but what powered it was an intact formation. Inside the building now, there were over 100 such defense cannons. Having already seen the fully automated factory, now seeing the cannons, Lin Moyu was somewhat used to it. Following the direction indicated by the formation on the ground, Lin Moyu walked to the center of the building. Here was a row of tables, obviously where people had worked before. On one of the tables, Lin Moyu saw a jade tablet. Chapter 3508, 3508. Chapter 3508, They All Must Die. Jade tablets are the most common tool used by cultivators to record information, and this jade tablet was of particularly high quality, surpassing many Dao Venerable realm treasures. Even after so many years, it remained intact. Lin Moyu took the jade tablet in his hand, his soul stirred slightly, and he received the information inside. Today, 180 puppets were manufactured, including 123rd grade, 42nd grade, and 21st grade. The first grade ones are handed over to the friends from the Great Dao Formation sect to set up formations, while the second and third grade ones will have formations set up by us from the Dao Puppet sect. The great battle continues, and puppet materials are already insufficient. Our manufactured black slaughter puppets have made great contributions, slaying several more powerful beings from the Black Blood realm. It's a pity that the materials for making black slaughter puppets are too scarce to mass produce. Otherwise, we would surely win this battle. The people from the Great Dao Formation sect are too protective, unwilling to give us their strongest formations. They don't have enough formation masters, and their efficiency is extremely low. This sect doesn't consider the bigger picture, they deserve to die. The information was somewhat chaotic, mostly this person's complaints, and the ending was very rushed. Lin Moyu could imagine that at that time, the battle must have reached this place, and he either retreated or went to join the fight, leaving this jade tablet behind in haste. From the various complaints, a lot of information could be analyzed. The owner of the jade tablet was a formation master from the Dao Puppet sect. Puppets also needed formations. Without formations, puppets were just immobile lumps. Although the Dao Puppet sect was skilled in making puppets, they were not as good at formations as the Great Dao Formation sect. During the origin catastrophe, the owner of the Jade Tablet felt that the Great Dao Formation sect should have shared their best formations for puppets, allowing the Dao Puppet sect's formation masters to set up corresponding formations to enhance the puppets' combat power. But the Great Dao Formation sect was unwilling to hand over their formations, so this formation master from the Dao Puppet sect cursed the Great Dao Formation sect fiercely in his heart, even feeling they deserved to die. Looking at his tone, there was even a sense of self-righteousness. However, what he truly thought in his heart is unclear. Lin Moyu put away the jade tablet. The information in the jade tablet, for him, only helped understand some things that happened in the past. Its real use wasn't very significant. Looking around, there were also many traces of battle here, indicating that the battle back then had reached inside. So whether this formation master from the Dao Puppet sect ultimately made it out alive was hard to say. Near a pile of rubble, Lin Moyu saw another jade tablet. The broken stones next to the jade tablet were a bit dark in color, like bloodstains. Lin Moyu went over and picked up the jade tablet, and the broken stones immediately turned to powder. The jade tablet was no longer complete, mostly shattered. If there was information recorded inside, it must have been damaged. As his soul stirred, fragmented information came through. The formation of the Black Slaughter puppet has flaws, why didn't they say so earlier, why? Dead, all dead, no one can escape. Haha, idiots from the Great Dao Formation sect, you didn't give us the formations, so let's all die together. You want to leave? I won't give you the chance. The recorded information was even more chaotic and extremely frenzied. However, from the tone, Lin Moyu could tell that this person was the owner of the previous jade tablet, that formation master from the Dao Puppet sect who liked to complain. It seems he didn't manage to escape and ultimately died here. And before he died, he also vented his hatred towards the Great Dao Formation sect. The formation masters from the Great Dao Formation sect wanted to escape, but he stopped them, and they died here together. Great Dao realm powerhouses, because their Dao hearts are firm enough, once they decide on something, it's very difficult to change. So a firm Dao heart also has two sides. Sometimes it can make people become stubborn. So, the formation of the Black Slaughter puppet had flaws. No wonder they lost their reason. If the Great Dao Formation sect didn't reveal this, it was indeed a bit too much. Could it be that the ones who finally attacked here weren't external enemies, but the Black Slaughter puppets? If that's true, then their deaths were quite unjust. Lin Moyu sighed lightly. The events of the past were long gone, the dust had settled, and nothing could be changed. His gaze continued to scan the interior of the building, searching for traces left behind from the past. This was the center of the entire puppet factory, arguably the most valuable place. And since the people here back then couldn't escape, if there were any materials or treasures, they would only be left here. Lin Moyu looked around but didn't find anything. Feeling slightly disappointed, he suddenly saw a glimmer of light seeping out from a small hole. The light was very faint, but Lin Moyu accurately captured it. There were many small holes on the ground, all made by weapons inside the building. These weapons had very strong attack power, products of the combination of formations and technology, probably made by the Dao puppet sect. There had been a great battle inside the building back then, and these weapons had been used, forming many fist-sized holes in the ground. Lin Moyu walked to the hole and looked down, seeing that there was actually another layer below. That's right, back then those formation masters from the Great Dao Formation sect also had to set up formations for the puppets. To prevent the formation masters from the Dao puppet sect from learning, they must have sought other places. It makes sense that there's a second layer here. He had searched around earlier and hadn't found an entrance to the next level, obviously this entrance had been deliberately sealed. Lin Moyu punched the ground, and cracks immediately appeared on the surface. However, the cracks were only on the surface. To break through this layer of ground, his strength was still a bit lacking. Not just him, even Supu would find it very difficult. The skeleton hell appeared in response, and the hell fiends all crawled on the ground, beginning to gnaw at the surface. If they couldn't break it, then they would eat it. The hell fiends could eat anything. Although their realm wasn't high enough, they could still eat away the ground, just at a slower speed. If speed wasn't enough, then they would make up for it with numbers. A large number of hell fiends lay on the ground, biting non-stop, one mouthful after another, constantly making grating sounds. Under the continuous gnawing of the hell fiends, the ground began to show obvious concavity, and a hole was rapidly forming. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. While the hell fiends were gnawing at the ground, he continued to scan the surroundings, trying not to miss any detail, ensuring true thoroughness. There were still many divine runes inside the building. These divine runes were once part of a powerful formation. Unfortunately, this formation could no longer exert its power now, only maintaining the most basic function of protecting the building from the erosion of time. Lin Moyu tried to learn divine rune knowledge from the broken formation, but it was quite difficult. He could only do his best to try. After a full half-day, the ground was finally gnawed into a hole over 5 meters in diameter, revealing the situation of the next layer. Lin Moyu entered and his pupils suddenly contracted. Several black slaughter puppets were lying around. But upon closer inspection, these black slaughter puppets had long been smashed, and the spirits inside had long since died. There had also been a fierce battle here. Being underground, it was better preserved, and many bloodstains could still be seen. There were even several bloodstains from the mouths of the black slaughter puppets. Then Lin Moyu saw a section of a corpse. The corpse still emitted a powerful aura. It was the body of a heavenly venerable realm being. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3509, 3509. The great Dao realm beings who died in the upper level didn't leave behind corpses, which undoubtedly meant they were eaten. The scene before him now proved his guess. Part of these remains was still in the mouth of a black slaughter puppet. This basically indicated that after those great Dao realm beings died above, their corpses were eaten by the black slaughter puppets. Lin Moyu walked over and picked up the remains. This should be an arm. The arm was eaten, with only a section left. Even if only a section remained, or even just a piece of flesh, it was still something good for Lin Moyu. He didn't know what realm the owner of these remains was in life, but it was certainly Great Dao realm. Even if he was the weakest Great Dao realm being, using it to activate corpse explosion would still have a wonderful effect. There was still a hidden Great Dao realm being on the origin continent now, so he needed more trump cards. That drop of black blood might not be usable, but these remains could definitely be used. Happily putting away the remains, Lin Moyu's gaze fell on something. This is. In the mouth of the black slaughter puppet, there was actually a ring. Lin Moyu took it in hand and examined it carefully. The ring was exquisite, its aura subtle yet powerful, already beyond the scope of the Dao Venerable realm. This is a Great Dao realm storage ring. I wonder what's inside. The storage ring should have belonged to the owner of this severed arm when they were alive. Now that they were dead, the soul imprint on the storage ring had disappeared with them, becoming an ownerless item. Lin Moyu used his soul power to claim ownership of the storage ring anew. If it were an ordinary Dao Venerable realm being, it would be very difficult to make a Great Dao realm treasure recognize a new master. But Lin Moyu had no problem with this. His soul was already an innate soul, and an 8th grade innate soul at that. Claiming ownership of a storage ring wasn't difficult. A moment later, the ownership of the storage ring was complete, and all the items inside were revealed to Lin Moyu. The space inside this storage ring was very large, like a small world, but the space clearly had problems. Lin Moyu sensed that a large hole had appeared in the space inside the storage ring. Many things in the ring had been sucked away by this hole, entering spatial turbulence. Looking more closely at the storage ring, there were indeed several cracks on it, obviously bitten by the black slaughter puppet. What a pity, there should have been many good things in a great Dao realm storage ring, but now most of them were gone. Lin Moyu examined what was left. Most were materials, along with some not very high-grade treasures. He didn't recognize many of the materials, only roughly judging that they were great Dao realm materials. Besides these, there were also several boxes. Taking out the boxes and opening them, inside was all powder. This is powder ground from origin crystals. Was this person a formation master from the great Dao formation sect? Powder ground from origin crystals could be combined with soul power to become ink for drawing divine runes. And on the box was written a large character for formation, in divine runes, basically indicating the origin of this box, an item from the great Dao formation sect. Having items from the great Dao formation sect, and being a formation master himself, his identity was basically confirmed. Lin Moyu's heart warmed, a formation master from the great Dao formation sect, could there be any formation materials left behind? He became more careful, his thoughts forming giant hands, carefully taking out the things in the storage ring. He couldn't take them out too quickly. The space in the storage ring was already damaged. Taking things out too quickly might cause them to fall into the space. Soon, the storage ring was emptied, all items neatly arranged in front of Lin Moyu. He looked through them one by one. Materials were classified as materials, boxes containing origin crystal powder were grouped together, and the rest were miscellaneous items. Several minutes later, he finally found a damaged notebook among the miscellaneous items. The notebook was made of white jade as thin as paper, with about 10 jade slips strung together. Unfortunately, the corners were all damaged. I hope it's as I wish. Lin Moyu checked the information in the notebook, and the next second, the corners of his mouth turned up slightly. The notebook indeed contained formation materials, and it was this formation master's insights. His name was Wu Zerui, a formation master from the Great Dao Formation sect. The notebook contained his insights on learning formations, as well as descriptions and records of various formations. These formations all came from the Great Dao Formation sect, ranging from weak to strong, 10 formations in total. Among them, 2 formations had already surpassed the 9th level of Dao Venerable. Formations beyond the 9th grade were called Dao formations, divided into low, medium, and high grades. The 2 formations he recorded were low-grade Dao formations. The power of low-grade Dao formations was much stronger than 9th-level Dao Venerable formations. These were formations that truly touched upon the Great Dao. According to him, even in the Great Dao Formation sect, not many people could set up Dao formations. Even from his tone, there was a hint of self-satisfaction. However, the notebook was somewhat damaged, and the recorded Dao formations were not complete. This wasn't a problem for Lin Moyu, he could try to repair them. And even with complete formations, he couldn't use them directly. He had to modify them first. Examun's warning was still in his ears. The formation sect would not allow their formations to leak out. Even through these basic Dao formations, Lin Moyu could glimpse some secrets of Dao formations, greatly enriching his understanding of formations. This had profound significance for his cultivation of formations. This was a great harvest, gaining another trump card and seeing a more brilliant world of formations. Lin Moyu continued to examine the surroundings. Passing by the black slaughter puppets, he didn't hesitate to collect them all into his own storage space. The materials for black slaughter puppets were very precious and valuable. Perhaps they could fetch a good price in the future. Not knowing what the outer sky Great Dao was like, it was always better to be prepared. There were remains of 6 black slaughter puppets here, all collected. This space suddenly became empty. The jade tablet was intact and placed in a relatively hidden position, obviously deliberately placed here. His soul power stirred, and he immediately saw the information inside. An authoritative voice transmitted from the jade tablet. My name is Wu Zerui, an elder of the Great Dao Formation sect. During this catastrophe, I was ordered to set up formations for puppets here. Disciples of the Tao puppet sect attempted to peek at our sect's formations. Failing to do so, they blocked my escape at the last moment, causing me to perish here. Before my death, I perished together with the Black Slaughter puppets. If posterity is fortunate enough to obtain this jade tablet, please bring it back to the Great Tao Formation sect. I promise you entry into the Great Tao Formation sect to learn the supreme way of formations. After hearing his words, Lin Moyu frowned slightly and muttered to himself, this person must be sick. Wu Zerui's tone carried a natural arrogance, which made Lin Moyu very uncomfortable. It was clearly he who needed a favor from others, but it sounded as if he was bestowing a great kindness on someone else. Not everyone would be eager to join the Great Tao Formation sect. However, from this point, it could also be seen that the status of the Great Tao Formation sect in the outer sky Great Tao must be very high. Lin Moyu, with disdain, ignited fierce flames in his palm. The next second, screams came from the Jade Tablet. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3510, 3510. Chapter 3510, a talent unused for many years. Bringing the Jade Tablet back to the Great Tao Formation sect was nothing more than bringing back the remnant soul inside the Jade Tablet. Great Tao realm beings always have some life-saving methods that ordinary people can't imagine. This formation master called Wu Zerui wasn't dead. The soul imprint on the storage ring didn't dissipate because he died, but because he actively dispersed it. His remnant soul was actually hidden in this clean white Jade Tablet. His true purpose was for someone to bring him back to the Great Tao Formation sect. At that time, the Great Tao Formation sect would have a way to revive him. Even if he couldn't recover to his peak state, at least he could survive. Unfortunately, he was too arrogant, thinking that by dangling the bait of joining the Great Tao Formation sect, someone would eagerly deliver him there. He happened to encounter Lin Moyu. Not to mention that now they were isolated and couldn't go there at all. Even if they could go, Lin Moyu wouldn't do such a thing. Moreover, under the undead eye, this remnant soul had nowhere to hide. The world-burning fire burning a Great Tao realm remnant soul couldn't kill it in a short time. It would take quite a while to burn it to death. Screams echoed in this space. To be on the safe side, Lin Moyu had already deployed the skeleton hell, sealing the exit, with Supu guarding there. A Great Tao realm remnant soul might have some strange methods. Do you know who I am? How dare you burn my soul? An angry voice transmitted from the Jade Tablet. Lin Moyu didn't pay any attention to him at all, instead making the fire burn even more fiercely. A remnant soul completely surrounded by the world-burning fire emerged from the Jade Tablet. He roared angrily, "Junior, stop immediately. Do you know who this old man is?" Even in this situation, he was still so arrogant. No wonder the people of the Tao puppet sect despised him so much that they wanted to drag him down with them even in death. Lin Moyu also disliked him. He then threw the Jade Tablet far away and stepped back a few steps to prevent any excessive actions from him. Lin Moyu's voice was cold. "You seem to not understand the situation. I'll give you a chance. Take a good look and think carefully." Wu Zerui said. "This old man is an elder of the Great Tao Formation sect." Lin Moyu interrupted him. "Wu Zerui, right? I know. Don't try to scare me with the Great Tao Formation sect. It's useless." Wu Zerui said in a low voice. "Do you know what the Great Tao Formation sect represents?" Lin Moyu sighed. "It seems your cultivation has made you stupid. The Great Tao Formation sect means nothing in my eyes. If you have nothing else to say, then just wait obediently to be burned to death." As he spoke, Lin Moyu made the fire burn even more fiercely. Wu Zerui screamed in agony again. After burning for a while, he finally couldn't help but ask, "What do you really want to do?" Lin Moyu said, "That's better. Now I'll give you two choices. One is to be burned to death by me. Two is to tell me all the formations you know, and swear a Great Tao oath that I can find a chance to send you back to the Great Tao Formation sect in the future. Just like that, choose one of the two. Make your choice." Wu Zerui didn't even think. "The formations of my Great Tao Formation sect cannot be leaked to outsiders." Lin Moyu said very decisively, "All right then, I'll take that as you choosing the first option by default." Actually, Lin Moyu knew clearly that the Great Tao Formation sect must have ways to control their disciples, preventing the leakage of formations. Of course, it wouldn't be all formations, probably just the most core ones. The Great Tao Formation sect would definitely have some control. It might not be that Wu Zerui was unwilling to speak, but that he truly couldn't speak. If that was the case, then it was better to be straightforward. There was no need to say more. The world-burning fire was unleashed at full power, several times more intense than before. Wu Zerui screamed incessantly, and in the midst of his screams, he roared, "Then let's die together." A formation suddenly appeared all around. His remnant soul rapidly consumed itself, activating the formation. The remnant soul lost a large amount of power, quickly being refined by the world-burning fire, while the formation also began to operate intensely at the same time. Lin Moyu's expression changed. He cursed inwardly and immediately rushed towards the exit, but he was still a step too late. Boom! With a huge explosion, this layer blew apart. The enormous power instantly tore Lin Moyu's physical body to shreds. The entire city shook violently, the circular building was blown away, and the surrounding area was completely turned into ruins. This was a Tao protection fortress, and the materials used inside were incredibly sturdy. The power of this explosion had already surpassed the Great Tao realm. Lin Moyu simply couldn't resist it. Purple light flickered, and Lin Moyu completed his rebirth within the purple light. It had been too long since he had used this talent. After completing the rebirth, Lin Moyu felt a sense of renewal. At the same time, he also felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, I have the rebirth talent. Otherwise, I would have really died. Indeed, Great Tao realm beings are not to be trifled with. They have too many backup plans, each more troublesome than the last. Wu Zerui had set up a self-destructing formation in this space. This formation, powered by his Great Tao realm soul power, had a power no less than if he had self-destructed once. This was his last resort for a desperate situation. He hadn't used it when dealing with the Black Slaughter puppets before, but unexpectedly used it here. However, in the explosion, Wu Zerui didn't seem to have escaped unscathed either. His remnant soul first exhausted its power, then was hit by the explosion, and could no longer resist the world-burning fire. It was completely refined, becoming a soul crystal. The soul crystal refined from a Great Tao realm remnant soul was of excellent quality. Lin Moyu casually tossed it to the dragon soul crystal. The 11th color of the dragon soul crystal was gradually taking shape, but it was still a bit short of truly forming. High-quality soul crystals were the best supplements. This place had been completely turned into ruins. Lin Moyu's gaze swept across, and the corners of his mouth turned up slightly, so many backup plans, one after another. He came to a corner, and the skeleton hell enveloped this corner. The hell fiends once again began to gnaw at the ground. During the explosion earlier, most of the force was directed upwards, and the ground of this layer hadn't been greatly impacted. All this looked normal, but thinking carefully, it wasn't actually normal. How could an explosion be so directional? It must have been specially arranged. But why arrange it like this? Naturally, it was to prevent certain things from being affected by the explosion. In the undead eye, a faint soul flame was hidden beneath the ground in the corner. This was also Wu Zerui's backup plan. His remnant soul wasn't in just one place, there was another. If conditions hadn't been limited, Wu Zerui probably wouldn't have prepared his backup plan so crudely. It must have been too urgent at the time, so there was no other way. The ground was quickly gnawed away a layer, revealing a divine rune. That strand of remnant soul was hidden within the divine rune, while the divine rune was used to conceal its aura. Unfortunately, none of this escaped Lin Moyu's eyes. The world-burning fire burned fiercely, and the remnant soul screamed incessantly again. This time, Lin Moyu didn't ask him various questions. He was too lazy to ask again. As the world-burning fire burned, the lightning lich flew out, throwing a chain lightning at it. The lightning exploded, and Lin Moyu felt the changes in the chain lightning. It didn't spread to distant places. This indicated that this was truly Wu Zerui's last backup plan. Wu Zerui screamed even more frantically, but Lin Moyu ignored it. He no longer wanted to ask about the Great Tao Formation sect's formations from his mouth. He only wanted Wu Zerui to die. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up, go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3511, 3511. Chapter 3511, this question is well asked. Wu Zerui died screaming, and Lin Moyu once again obtained a soul crystal, which became food for the dragon soul crystal. After the intense explosion just now, most of this circular building that had stood for countless years had turned into ruins. When Lin Moyu flew out, he saw the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor already waiting outside. The explosion earlier was too intense, attracting both of them over. Seeing Lin Moyu unharmed, the Beast Emperor chuckled, "I told you young friend Lin wouldn't have any problems." The three ancestors seemed disdainful. "A scourge lasts 1,000 years. This kid would find it hard to die even if he wanted to." Lin Moyu said, "Did the elders deal with the black slaughter puppet?" The three ancestors nodded. "It wasn't anything difficult. If it wasn't because we're here." At this point, he suddenly changed the subject. "Did you have any gains?" Lin Moyu knew that if it wasn't for the restrictions here, with the three ancestors' ability, he could have easily killed the black slaughter puppet with just a finger. It was only because they were here that things became a bit troublesome. Lin Moyu said, "I suppose I had some gains. There was a remnant soul inside." The Beast Emperor was stunned. "A remnant soul?" Lin Moyu nodded. "A formation master from the Great Tao Formation sect, not completely dead, left behind a strand of remnant soul. He wanted me to help him return to the Great Tao Formation sect, saying he could allow me to join the Great Tao Formation sect." The Beast Emperor suddenly laughed. "That's right, truly the style of the Great Tao Formation sect." The three ancestors said, "The Great Tao Formation sect is just like that, looking down on others from high above. Even during the catastrophe, they were very arrogant." The Beast Emperor said, "They control the way of formations. Although there's no Tao Lord in the formation Great Tao yet, the Great Tao Formation sect already considers itself the Lord of the Great Tao, so naturally they're arrogant." The three ancestors' tone was even more disdainful. "They merely obtained an origin formation, studied it for countless years, and still haven't figured it out. I don't think the position of Tao Lord will fall to them." The Beast Emperor said, "The position of Tao Lord isn't so easy to attain. If they had the ability to attain it, they would have done so long ago, not waiting until now. Young friend Lin, you didn't agree to that fellow's request, did you?" The three ancestors said, "There aren't many good people in the Great Tao Formation sect. Even if you really sent him back, they might not necessarily give you any benefits. It's better not to join such a sect." Lin Moyu smiled. "Even if I wanted to go, I couldn't go now, could I?" He said this to probe the attitudes of the two. He didn't know what kind of relationship the Great Tao Formation sect had with the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor, so he wouldn't say at first that he had killed Wu Zerui. Now hearing their evaluation of the Great Tao Formation sect, he had a better understanding. The Beast Emperor said, "If you can avoid going, it's better not to go. When you go to the outer sky Great Tao someday, find a corner, throw his remnant soul there, and pretend this never happened." Lin Moyu said, "I'm afraid I can't throw it away now. I've already killed him." "Ah," the Beast Emperor exclaimed, clearly surprised. The three ancestors asked, "You really killed him?" Lin Moyu nodded, "I killed him." The Beast Emperor said, "That's troublesome. You'll have to be careful when you go to the outer sky Great Tao in the future. The people from the Great Tao Formation sect might target you." Lin Moyu was a bit puzzled. He had indeed killed Wu Zerui, but how could the Great Tao Formation sect target him? When Wu Zerui died, no mark had fallen on him. The three ancestors explained, "There's an origin formation in the Great Tao Formation sect. From this origin formation, countless formations have evolved, including one that stores the soul imprints of all disciples of the Great Tao Formation sect. If someone kills their disciple, they will also be marked by that formation. Moreover, all disciples of the Great Tao Formation sect possess a movable formation disk connected to that celestial formation. So if you encounter disciples of the Great Tao Formation sect, they will know that you once killed someone from the Great Tao Formation sect." The Beast Emperor added, "They don't need to leave any mark on you. That formation is guided by the destiny Great Tao, so you won't have any awareness of it." Hearing this, Lin Moyu couldn't help but feel relieved. Guided by the destiny Great Tao. That's just perfect. He wasn't in the destiny Great Tao at all, so it probably wouldn't be possible to mark him. But since the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor said so, he still needed to be careful. Lin Moyu asked, "What is an origin formation?" The Beast Emperor said, "Heaven and earth have their origin. There are countless great Taos in this world, and each great Tao has its origin, just in different manifestations. The origin of the formation Great Tao is that origin formation. It is the source of all formations. If one wants to become a Tao Lord, the simplest method is to obtain the origin of that Tao. Comprehending the origin gives one the chance to become a Tao Lord. The Great Tao Formation sect obtained the origin formation, grasping the origin of the formation Great Tao. Unfortunately, over so many years, no one has been able to comprehend the origin formation, so the position of Tao Lord in the formation Great Tao remains vacant. Lin Moyu said, "It's been so long since the origin catastrophe. Perhaps someone in the Great Tao Formation sect has already become a Tao Lord." The Beast Emperor said, "No, at least not yet." The three ancestors snorted. "Kid, don't try to trick us into talking. We would sense it if someone became a Tao Lord. It's been 200 million years since the last time someone became a Tao Lord." 200 million years, wasn't that after the origin catastrophe? It seems that after the origin catastrophe, new Tao Lords still appeared in the outer sky Great Tao. The Beast Emperor said, "It was just a Tao Lord of an ordinary Great Tao, not much use." The three ancestors said, "But it's still a Tao Lord. A Tao Lord is a Tao Lord, always different." The Beast Emperor said with disdain, Yes, you're right about everything." From their conversation, Lin Moyu captured some more information. The Beast Emperor clearly didn't think much of that new Tao Lord, even looking down on them. It wasn't just looking down on their status, but also their strength. In other words, the Beast Emperor's true strength was stronger than that Tao Lord of an ordinary Great Tao, or at least not weaker. Moreover, the Beast Emperor clearly looked down on ordinary Great Taos, so what he wanted was naturally the origin Great Tao. What the Beast Emperor and the three ancestors were pursuing was the position of Tao Lord of the origin Great Tao. Origin continent, origin Great Tao, origin techniques. Everything has its origin. The origin points directly to the core of things. One who obtains the origin obtains the world. This saying was very applicable on the origin continent. Lin Moyu took the opportunity to ask. This junior has something to ask the elders. The three ancestors said, "Go ahead and ask. We can't answer everything." Facing this little fox Lin Moyu, the three ancestors also had to keep something back, not able to say everything. Lin Moyu asked, "Previously, when this junior went to the Soul Void, I found that some Great Taos couldn't be used in the Soul Void, or their power was greatly reduced, but some Great Taos were unaffected. May I ask why this is?" The three ancestors chuckled. This question is well asked. Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow. "How so?" The three ancestors said, "Because this old man doesn't know the answer to this question either." The Beast Emperor also chimed in. "That's right, we don't know either. This emperor has thought about this question before, but never figured it out." The three ancestors said, "Perhaps, only that person would know the answer." Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. The person the three ancestors referred to, wasn't it the green-robed old man? Asterisk 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 asterisk. Thanks a bunch for the support, Destro. Asterisk 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 asterisk. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3512. 3512. Chapter 3512. What would I do if it were me? Lin Moyu asked a question that neither the three ancestors nor the Beast Emperor knew the answer to, effectively ending this exchange. The three ancestors said, "Do you want to go down and take another look?" Lin Moyu said, "That's about it. There shouldn't be anything left. This factory is completely ruined." The Beast Emperor said, "The puppets of the Tao puppet sect were quite good. They played a significant role during the origin catastrophe. What a pity." The three ancestors sighed. Back then, all the sects displayed their abilities and worked together to get through that catastrophe. Who wasn't fighting for their lives? He looked at Lin Moyu. "If there's nothing else, let's go." Suddenly, the Tao protection fortress below began to shake. Not just the Tao protection fortress, but the entire space was shaking. Lin Moyu's expression changed slightly. He sensed that the space had changed, as if it was being compressed by some powerful force. The Beast Emperor shouted, "Bad news, that old fellow is sealing the relic from beyond the sky." The great Tao realm being hidden in the origin continent was suddenly taking action, trying to seal this space and trap them inside. Lin Moyu knew that being trapped was impossible. Whether it was the three ancestors or the Beast Emperor, they could break this space with brute force. But after breaking the space, whether they would enter the origin continent or end up outside the origin continent was hard to say. Most likely they could return to the origin continent, but there was a small chance they might end up outside the origin continent. Even if it was just a small probability, for the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor, it could mean years of effort wasted in an instant. However, Lin Moyu wasn't anxious, because the three ancestors wasn't anxious. Lin Moyu knew the calculations of this old fox, the three ancestors. Having laid plans for so many years, how could he not have anticipated the current situation? Sure enough, the three ancestors wasn't anxious at all. No need to hurry, he can't seal it. The Beast Emperor was stunned. Do you have another backup plan? The three ancestors said, just watch. As he spoke, he waved his large hand, and a gentle force enveloped Lin Moyu. The three of them immediately flew towards the exit. The space was still shaking violently, but Lin Moyu found that the situation of the shaking had changed. Previously, it seemed like someone was trying to seal the exit, but now it was shaking due to a great battle. Both sides of the battle were great Tao realm beings. One was an old acquaintance, the king of the Boundary Sea, and the other was that hidden great Tao realm being. How could the three ancestors not have calculated clearly? He had invited the Beast Emperor to come and deal with the Black Slaughter puppet together, and naturally would also guard against others tampering with the relic from beyond the sky. So the three ancestors had also invited the king of the Boundary Sea. Sure enough, everything had been calculated by the three ancestors. The Beast Emperor also sensed the aura of the king of the Boundary Sea and chuckled, "So you called Old Black? You really have a way." The three ancestors said, "That fellow was hiding deep. It wouldn't be easy to dig him out, so this time we used the tactic of drawing the snake out of its hole to lure him out. He dared to scheme against this old man, so he should be prepared to be schemed against by this old man." The Beast Emperor said, "What do you plan to do?" The three ancestors said, "That fellow hasn't just schemed against this old man, he's also scheming against you. What do you plan to do?" The Beast Emperor laughed, "Anything goes. Anyway, this emperor won't let him off easily." The two discussed and planned how to deal with the opponent. But no matter how they planned, Lin Moyu found that neither of them thought about killing the opponent. Thinking back, when the opponent schemed against the three ancestors, it seemed he didn't think about killing the three ancestors either, just wanting to disrupt the three ancestors' plans. They probably can't kill each other. Lin Moyu thought to himself. The opponent should be like the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor, just an avatar that came to the origin continent. Killing an avatar wouldn't cause much damage to the main body. If they really killed each other, the grudge would become too great. So this time, neither the Beast Emperor nor the three ancestors thought about killing the opponent. They just wanted to teach him a lesson to make him behave. The best method would be to seal the opponent until the great changes in heaven and earth were over, not letting him come out to cause trouble again. This was already the limit. Besides this, there was another method, which was like how he dealt with Withering and Flourishing Elder, forcing Withering and Flourishing Elder to make mistakes and be forcibly expelled by the Great Tao. However, as long as the opponent didn't lose his reason, this method would be basically very difficult to achieve. Arriving at the entrance of the relic from beyond the sky, they saw the king of the Boundary Sea fighting fiercely with a black-robed person. The two seemed to be fighting intensely, but were also holding back. This was already within the scope of the relic from beyond the sky. If the two of them destroyed the relic from beyond the sky, once the Tao protection fortress inside fell into the origin continent, the two would have to bear huge karmic consequences. Neither of them wanted to bear this karma. The king of the Boundary Sea was tightly entangling the black-robed person. The black-robed person tried to break free several times but was blocked by the king of the Boundary Sea each time. The Beast Emperor sneered, "Old sneaky bastard, it's really you causing trouble behind the scenes. Watch how this old man beats you up." As he spoke, the Beast Emperor had already charged over, manifesting countless fist shadows, bombarding the black-robed person. The black-robed person roared angrily, emitting countless black chi that turned into shields, blocking the Beast Emperor's fists. The Beast Emperor took the opportunity to rush to his front, his fist attacks falling like raindrops. The black-robed person was surrounded by fists on all sides, each punch capable of severely injuring a 9th-level Dao Venerable. The king of the Boundary Sea took the opportunity to disengage from the battle, leaving the battlefield to the Beast Emperor. The three ancestors brought Lin Moyu to the entrance, joining up with the king of the Boundary Sea, firmly guarding the entrance. The entrance to the relic from beyond the sky was also the exit. There was no other way out besides this. The king of the Boundary Sea smiled. "Young friend Lin, I didn't expect to meet again so soon." Lin Moyu said. "Elder, did you enjoy the fight just now?" The king of the Boundary Sea said. "It was average. I didn't dare use full power here, so it wasn't very enjoyable." The three ancestors said. "Then why did you come back? Why not join the Beast Emperor in beating him up?" The king of the Boundary Sea said. "That Beast Emperor fellow doesn't like others helping him. Let him fight. I didn't expect this old guy to sneak in too. It's good that you discovered him this time, otherwise we might have been ambushed without knowing." The three ancestors said. "Indeed, he was exposed this time because he couldn't resist taking action. Who knows what methods he's been up to behind our backs? We all need to check ourselves when we get back, just to be safe." The king of the Boundary Sea said. "We indeed need to check ourselves. Lend me your truth-seeking mirror, it'll be more convenient for checking." The three ancestors nodded. "I'll check myself first, then send the truth-seeking mirror to you." The king of the Boundary Sea looked pleased. "Good, I don't believe that this sneaky fellow can cause any big trouble." Lin Moyu listened quietly while analyzing. The three ancestors looked at Lin Moyu's silent appearance. "Little fox, what are you thinking about?" Lin Moyu said. "I'm thinking, if it were me, what would I do?" The three ancestors asked. "What would you do?" Lin Moyu said. "I would take advantage of this opportunity when all of you elders have entered the relic from beyond the sky to make my move." Three ancestors, "You're scheming against him, but wouldn't he know that you're scheming against him?" The words were a bit convoluted, but they made the three ancestors fall into deep thought. What Lin Moyu said wasn't without reason. The three ancestors said in a low voice. "These past few days, the Beast Emperor and I haven't been in the origin continent. It is indeed a good opportunity. If he were to make his move now, although he might not be able to completely disrupt our plans, he could at least keep us busy for a while, giving him more time. But if he does this, he'll be completely exposed." Lin Moyu said. "Actually, being exposed doesn't matter much. You can't kill him in the origin continent, and it's also very difficult to drive him away, so he can act without fear. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3513, 3513. Chapter 3513, It's best not to notice me. Lin Moyu's words were all correct, basically accurate. The three ancestors and the king of the Boundary Sea knew this was the case, so the opponent could act without restraint. Lin Moyu asked, "Elder, who exactly is he?" The three ancestors said, "Didn't the Beast Emperor just say it?" The Beast Emperor had called out, "Old Yin Sun," earlier. Lin Moyu thought it was just an insult, but it turned out to be his actual name. Yin Sun. Lin Moyu was surprised. This name was quite fitting. The king of the Boundary Sea said, "His name is Yin Shun, but we usually call him Yin Sun. This old fellow is very sneaky." The Beast Emperor was fighting very happily at this moment, punching down one fist after another while shouting, "Old Yin Sun, see how this old man beats you up." Yin Shun didn't speak, only occasionally letting out cold laughs. The Beast Emperor's momentum was overwhelming, seemingly firmly suppressing him, beating him without giving him a chance to fight back. But Lin Moyu could see that the Beast Emperor wasn't actually gaining much advantage. It was mainly because Yin Shun wasn't fighting back much, spending most of the time on defense. The more he watched, the more something felt off. Lin Moyu suddenly had a thought. He's stalling for time. He immediately said to the three ancestors, he should be stalling for time. The mist surrounding the three ancestors clearly changed. The three ancestors, who had been watching the show, suddenly took action. A giant hand fell from the sky, the three ancestors' momentum even more overwhelming than the Beast Emperor's. This was the first time Lin Moyu had seen the three ancestors truly take action. As soon as he moved, it was as if he was fighting for his life, feeling like he wanted to kill. Could his one sentence have such a great effect? Or had the three ancestors thought of something? The space became muddy, and Yin Shun seemed to be stuck in a swamp, unable to move. The Beast Emperor also struggled to break free, clearly startled. He cursed angrily, "Have you gone mad?" Yin Shun also shouted, "Old Three, did you take the wrong medicine?" The three ancestors said in a low voice, "If you ruin this old man's plans, this old man will not rest until one of us is dead." Yin Shun cursed, "Madman, you three-time madman." His black robe suddenly expanded, instantly breaking through the swamp, then exploded with a boom. Powerful force erupted, shattering the space. The Beast Emperor and the King of the Boundary Sea shouted in unison, "Not good, the space is about to break." Lin Moyu let out a light shout, and the space Great Tao suddenly appeared. He simultaneously manifested the profound power of the space Great Tao. The space Great Tao scattered its vast power, immediately suppressing the breaking space with the power of the space Great Tao, then slowly recovering. Lin Moyu said, "Three ancestors, what are you trying to do?" The three ancestors said, "If I didn't do this, would that fellow leave?" Lin Moyu said, "So you used me." The three ancestors said, "What else? You have the space Great Tao, wouldn't it be a waste not to make good use of it?" The three ancestors wasn't really fighting for his life, he just wanted to scare Yin Shun away. Otherwise, if Yin Shun didn't retreat, this great battle would go on for who knows how long. Moreover, he knew Lin Moyu had the space Great Tao, so he wouldn't watch the space shatter and let the Tao protection fortress fall into the origin continent. A moment later, the space finally recovered. The three ancestors waved his hand, "Let's go back. We don't know what old Yin Sun has done. Let's all go take a look and check thoroughly. After I use the truth-seeking mirror, I'll send it over to you. Don't let any of them off." The three ancestors was eager to return and immediately activated the formation, rushing out of the relic from beyond the sky. Above the origin continent, accompanied by a distortion in space, the four of them appeared simultaneously. Not even 2 seconds after coming out, the three ancestors' expression suddenly changed. "Old Yin Sun, are you seeking death?" He had already sensed the changes. Many of his years of arrangements had gone wrong. The Beast Emperor also said in a low voice, "Those fellows actually started fighting." The King of the Boundary Sea frowned tightly. The spirit beasts in the Boundary Sea are in an uproar. The arrangements of all three had encountered unexpected situations. The three ancestors said in a low voice, "Let's go deal with it first, salvage what we can. We'll discuss the rest later. Go." The forms of the three disappeared simultaneously, leaving extremely quickly, without even saying goodbye to Lin Moyu. "It's best not to notice me," Lin Moyu thought to himself as he spread his undead wings and flew towards Yudao City. He fell like a meteor, and just as he was about to approach the ground, he suddenly disappeared. The next second, he had appeared in Yudao City, using the origin spirit vein for teleportation, which was very convenient. Returning to his courtyard, he saw Little Mei leading the others in cultivation. The four girls were sitting cross-legged, looking quite proper. Little Mist had no one to play with, so she could only cultivate. Lin Moyu brewed a pot of glacier Great Tao tea in the courtyard, drinking tea while studying divine rune formations. He had almost finished studying the formation materials given by Examoon. Along with the materials given by Jiyu Hanyu, Lin Moyu had thoroughly grasped the basic knowledge of divine runes. Now he also had experience in setting up divine rune formations, and after several modifications to divine rune formations, his experience in divine rune formations was accumulating more and more profoundly. Turning back to look at the formation manual he had obtained this time, although the formations inside were somewhat damaged, it didn't pose any obstacle for him. He could even automatically complete the damaged formations without much thought while looking at them. Among them, Lin Moyu knew at a glance that he couldn't set up the two strongest ones with his current ability. Those weren't formations belonging to the Tao Venerable realm, but to the Great Tao formations. At least a pseudo-Great Tao realm was needed to set them up. Among them, the strongest killing formation was called the 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation. It could draw upon the power of the Thunder Great Tao through the formation. The power of the formation alone had reached the peak of the 9th level of Tao Venerable, even stronger than the space-rending killing formation. The 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation drew upon pure Thunder Great Tao power. The Thunder Great Tao was an origin Great Tao, which was why the formation's power was so immense. Unfortunately, the amount of Great Tao power drawn upon wasn't much. Otherwise, the formation's power wouldn't be limited to this. Lin Moyu took less than half a day to fully master all 8 formations in the manual. He could set them up at any time. He also firmly remembered the other two, which he could set up when he became a great Tao realm being in the future. As for materials, there were many ready-made ones. Those few broken black slaughter puppets, their bodies ground into powder, fused with 9th grade origin crystals, plus soul power and great Tao power, could be used to set up the formations. Teacher is back. Little May had just finished cultivating when she saw Lin Moyu, and her little face immediately bloomed into a smile. As Little May woke up, Little Wu, Little Mist, and Little Yu also woke up one after another. Lin Moyu waved his hand. Come over and drink some great Tao tea. The group immediately gathered around. What Lin Moyu let them drink was definitely something good. Little May explained the effects of the great Tao tea for Lin Moyu, and the three immediately drank cup after cup. Especially Little Mist, who wanted to be lazy the most, so she drank the most. Lin Moyu drew several divine runes, and the divine runes enveloped the courtyard, immediately making the entire courtyard quiet. Next, I'm going to talk about the true Tao. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3514, 3514. Chapter 3514. There are some people I want to see soon too. In the small courtyard, silver light flowed. Lin Moyu waved his hand, scattering silver tree sap that transformed into countless points of silver light, dancing like stars in the courtyard. Silver tree sap could accelerate cultivation speed. It could be consumed directly or sprinkled like rain, both methods being effective. To achieve the best effect for his lecture on the Tao, Lin Moyu didn't hesitate to use a large amount of silver tree sap. Little Mist, somewhat confused, asked, Master, what do you mean by the true Tao? Lin Moyu said, you'll understand when you listen. Little May knew what the true Tao meant. The paths other Tao venerables walked were all soul paths, not Tao pattern paths. In fact, only the Tao pattern path was the true Tao. Each time one condensed a Tao pattern, it was a contact with the great Tao, paving the way for the future great Tao realm. This way, by the time one reached the 9th level of Tao Venerable, the cultivator would have already established a strong connection with the great Tao. If there were enough Tao patterns, one could even borrow a trace of great Tao power. At the same time, Tao patterns could enhance various techniques. As a result, the gap between cultivators with Tao patterns and those without became extremely large. With different strengths, the success rate of passing through the heavenly tribulation naturally differed as well. Now, even if cultivators in the origin continent passed through the heavenly tribulation, when the great changes in heaven and earth began and the world was no longer isolated, they could enter the great Tao realm. But after that, they would find it difficult to progress. Because they had taken the wrong path from the beginning, it would be hard to return to the correct path later. For those current 9th level Tao venerables, returning to the correct path was already extremely difficult. They didn't even know they had taken the wrong path. Even if they knew, without special opportunities, it would be very hard to change back. Most importantly, the method of cultivating Tao patterns seemed to have some connection with the great changes in heaven and earth, and was also restricted by the great Tao, not to be casually leaked. Originally, Lin Moyu wanted to help Thunder Tao Person, but Thunder Tao Person had already become a pseudo-great Tao realm being, so he didn't need this method for now. Only after the origin continent recovered and he truly entered the great Tao realm could other methods be considered. Sha Hoyuan should be able to use it. The three ancestors stood behind him, and the three ancestors would definitely help him. Now, for the four girls before him, Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't let them take the wrong path. Previously, the time wasn't right. Now that signs of the great changes in heaven and earth had appeared, he felt he could pass on the Tao pattern method to them, preventing them from taking the wrong path. As the lecture began, even Little Mist, who usually couldn't sit still, quieted down. Lin Moyu used the simplest and most straightforward language to explain the method of cultivating Tao patterns. Even though Little Yu was still far from the Tao Venerable realm, knowing the method wouldn't hurt. Little Yu was different from ordinary cultivators. Born with a jade soul, she had no bottlenecks in her cultivation. Advancing to Tao Venerable was a certainty for her, so there was no need to consider the effects of aiming too high. For a full 3 days, the small courtyard was brilliant with silver light. Lin Moyu lectured for 3 days. The first 2 days were him explaining, and the last day was answering their questions. Little May, with her previous life's cultivation experience, asked the fewest questions. Her understanding of Tao patterns far surpassed the other three. Sometimes, she could even answer questions others asked on behalf of Lin Moyu. Little May's position as the big sister among the four quickly stabilized. After the lecture ended, Lin Moyu waved his hand, gathering the silver tree sap into a ball, then dividing it into 4 gourds. The tree sap I gave you last time should be all used up. Here's 10,000 drops for each of you. 1 drop a day, cultivate well. The 4 gourds fell into each person's hands. Then Lin Moyu took out a small package of Glacier Great Dao tea and handed it to Little May. Brew it once every year, 1 piece each time. Little May, you're in charge of this. Little May took the Glacier Great Dao tea and responded, Little May understands. Lin Moyu nodded. The origin continent is about to face a great change. I hope you can raise your realms as much as possible before the change arrives. Little Wu asked, what will this change be like? Lin Moyu shook his head, your teacher only knows that this will be an extremely shocking change. There might be countless powerful beings appearing, and unimaginable great battles might break out in the origin continent. If your strength isn't enough, you might not be able to protect yourselves. Your teacher can't guarantee that he can protect you during the change. Little Mist said, don't worry, worst case we'll hide in Master's rule world. As long as Master doesn't die, we'll be fine. If something happens to Master, there's no point in us living anyway. The words were crude but true, reflecting Little Mist's inner thoughts. Little Wu said, don't worry, Father will definitely keep us safe. We'll also work hard on our cultivation, absolutely no slacking off. Little Yu also raised her fist. Little Yu won't slack off. Little Mist also promised. Little Mist too. How much her promise was worth, probably even she didn't know. Little May asked, Teacher, are you going out? Little Mist immediately said, you've only been back for a few days and you're leaving again. I haven't even had enough time to hang on you. She was very reluctant for Lin Moyu to leave. Lin Moyu was absent most of the time, and Little Mist really missed him. Lin Moyu smiled and said, I also need to prepare for the great changes in heaven and earth. Otherwise, I won't be able to protect you. Moreover, there are some people I want to see soon too. Lin Moyu sighed lightly. Although he wasn't weak, compared to those ancient beings, he was still not enough. With the current restrictions in the origin continent, he couldn't contend with them. If he waited until the great changes arrived and the restrictions disappeared, how could he stop those great Dao realm beings coming down? So he must become stronger. And to see his wife, he also needed to continuously become stronger. After chatting with them for a while, Lin Moyu finally left Yudao City. Before he left, there was one more thing to do, which was to set up formations for Yudao City. Now the human emperor could control a range of 300,000 kilometers. Lin Moyu used this as the boundary to set up a new formation group. This time, he used divine runes, not hesitating to consume a large amount of 8th grade origin crystals to set up the 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation Group. With this formation in place, unless a great Dao realm powerhouse personally came, no one else could hope to return alive. For now, this formation was enough to keep Yudao City safe and sound. Divine runes flew out from his fingertips one after another, quickly condensing and floating in the air. The divine runes linked together, covering an increasingly large area. Electric snakes moved within the divine runes, with constant rumbling sounds. In less than an hour, a 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation had taken shape. Accompanied by peals of thunder, a Thunder Great Dao appeared in the sky. The Thunder Great Dao scattered its power, infusing it into the formation. A complete 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation took shape. This formation, reaching the peak of the 9th level of Dao Venerable, was enough to kill a 9th level Dao Venerable. Even a pseudo-Great Dao Realm being might be severely injured. Only Great Dao Realm beings could be safe within the formation. As the 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation took shape, it also meant that Lin Moyu's formation skills had surpassed all native formation masters on the origin continent. Perhaps only the 3 ancestors and Examoon could compete with Lin Moyu in terms of formations. After successfully setting up the first 99 Heavenly Thunder Formation, Lin Moyu's hands didn't stop, continuing to set up the second one. He wanted to set up a formation group, covering the entire area within a 300,000 kilometer radius centered on Yudao City. At the same time, the formation spirit Little Jin flew over. Following Lin Moyu's instructions, it plunged into the 99 Heavenly Thunder Grand Formation. ko-fi.com/translate Toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate Toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3515, 3515. Chapter 3515, Returning to the Convergence of Two Realms. Formation spirits are very precious. In all these years of dealing with formations, Lin Moyu had only seen them a few times. The appearance of a formation spirit requires various factors including timing, geographical advantages, and human factors. Lin Moyu had set up so many formations, but apart from the formation spirit Little Jin, no other formation spirit had appeared. The difficulty of obtaining a formation spirit far exceeds that of obtaining a treasure spirit. Thinking back to the formation spirit that existed in the palace in that small world, it now seemed somewhat incredible. After adapting to the 99 Heavenly Thunder formation for a while, Little Jin indicated that there were no problems at all, and it could fully control it. Little Jin could grow. When it first formed, its control over formations was still very weak. Later, as it mastered more and more formations, Little Jin also grew. How far it had grown now, even Lin Moyu, its master, wasn't clear. But this wasn't important. At least Little Jin could easily control the 99 Heavenly Thunder formation, which was enough. Lin Moyu continued to set up 99 Heavenly Thunder formations, forming a formation group. To cover an area with a radius of 300,000 kilometers, after expanding the range of the 99 Heavenly Thunder formation to its limit, it still required setting up 83 formations to achieve full coverage. Divine rune after divine rune flew out, interweaving to form powerful formations one after another. The Thunder Great Tao continuously infused the formations with Great Tao power. For 5 days, the thunder never stopped. When the last divine rune flew out, the 99 Heavenly Thunder formation group took shape with a boom. Lin Moyu called out in a low voice, "Human Emperor." The Human Emperor instantly appeared before Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu handed the formation disc to the Human Emperor. "This 99 Heavenly Thunder formation is for you and Little Jin to control. With this formation in place, there's no need to worry even if a 9th level Tao Venerable comes. If anyone dares to cause trouble, just blast them to death directly." The Human Emperor said, "Realm Lord, please rest assured. As long as I'm here, nothing will happen to you Tao City." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "With you here, Elder, what do I have to worry about?" The Human Emperor asked, "How long will the Realm Lord be gone this time?" Lin Moyu shook his head, "I don't know yet. It might be very quick, or it might be very long. Everything depends on the situation over there." The Human Emperor made an sound. "Then I wish the Realm Lord all the best and a safe return." "Thanks." Lin Moyu smiled, then his entire body rose into the sky like lightning, instantly breaking through the cloud layer. Looking at the vast white clouds beneath his feet, Lin Moyu took out the General Seal of the Divine Rune Army. Activating the General Seal, a vast power opened the path to the outside of the realm. Lin Moyu stepped into it, heading towards the convergence of two realms. The distance was extremely far, and the teleportation needed some time. Lin Moyu looked around with interest. The scenes during teleportation were very illusory, and what he saw wasn't real, but Lin Moyu could still discern some things. He was indeed leaving the origin continent, and his perception of the Great Tao was changing. The power of the Great Tao first increased sharply, then began to weaken. Lin Moyu knew this was because he first approached the outer sky Great Tao, then rapidly moved away from it, causing this situation. Even the Beast Emperor and the 3 ancestors can't open the path to the outer sky Great Tao, but the heaven-questioning Tao Monarch can. How did he do it? The Great Tao has rules on the origin continent. Heaven and earth are in an isolated state. It's almost impossible to go to the outer sky Great Tao. What method did the heaven-questioning Tao Monarch use? Could it be that the heaven-questioning Tao Monarch's ability is even above the 3 ancestors and the Beast Emperor? It's not impossible. After all, the heaven-questioning Tao Monarch is also someone who survived the origin catastrophe. It's just that he didn't enter the origin continent to make plans and arrangements like the 3 ancestors and the Beast Emperor. Lin Moyu believed that at that level, nothing would be done casually. There must be profound meaning behind everything. Simply put, these great Tao realm powerhouses all had a common goal, which was to become stronger. However, he didn't know what methods these powerful beings used to strengthen themselves. The Soul Void, planning in the origin continent, the convergence of two realms, perhaps the ultimate goal was the same. Lost in thought, Lin Moyu once again stepped into the place between two realms. The familiar environment, after many years apart, he set foot here again. The Purple Thunder Great Tao and the Crimson Blood Great Tao were still there, unchanged. They had been like this for countless years. Naturally, there wouldn't be any big changes in just a few years. The feeling of being watched from before had disappeared, and there was no sense of danger in his soul. Not far away, space rippled. Lin Moyu turned to look. The form of the heaven-questioning Tao monarch went from blurry to clear. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch looked over with a smile. Young friend has finally come again. Lin Moyu bowed to the heaven-questioning Tao monarch. Greetings, elder. I hope you've been well. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch waved his hand. No need for such formalities. What do you plan to do this time? He got straight to the point, asking very directly. Lin Moyu said. Before deciding what to do, this junior has a question to ask the elder. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch made an sound. Go ahead and ask. Lin Moyu asked. When this junior came last time, what's the current situation of that great Tao realm being from the Blood Rat realm? The heaven-questioning Tao monarch said. After you left, he went back to sleep. Lin Moyu continued to ask. If this junior does the same as last time, will he awaken again? The heaven-questioning Tao monarch nodded. Yes, he guards the Crimson Blood Great Tao. If there are big changes to the Crimson Blood Great Tao, he will naturally awaken. However, if you just take some fragments, he probably won't awaken so quickly. Not so quickly, which meant he would still awaken. Lin Moyu had already anticipated this point and continued to ask. May I ask, elder, what is his cultivation level? Is he injured? The heaven-questioning Tao monarch raised an eyebrow. What do you want to do? Lin Moyu said. This junior thinks that coming time after time like a thief is too troublesome. If possible, why not just kill him? Elder might have some restrictions and find it difficult to take action here, but this junior shouldn't have such restrictions. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch looked Lin Moyu up and down, pondered for a moment, then said, his strength isn't anything special. He's about at the early stage of an 8th grade innate soul. He is indeed injured. If it were elsewhere, killing him wouldn't be difficult. But here, this old man indeed has some restrictions. Moreover, if this old man takes action, it will awaken even more powerful beings. If young friend wants to kill him, this old man can't help you on this side. Lin Moyu roughly understood the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's situation. The convergence of two realms always maintained a delicate balance between three sides. There must also be powerful beings in the Blood Rat realm, forming a state of mutual restraint with the heaven-questioning Tao monarch. Besides this, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch should have other issues. Lin Moyu had a thought and suddenly asked, Elder, do you cultivate the Purple Thunder Great Tao? The heaven-questioning Tao monarch raised his eyebrows slightly, then let out a long sigh. Young friend is correct. This old man indeed cultivates the Purple Thunder Great Tao. Lin Moyu understood. No wonder the heaven-questioning Tao monarch was guarding here. The Purple Thunder Great Tao was the Great Tao he had comprehended. Now that the Purple Thunder Great Tao was damaged, his strength was also affected. So he had to guard here, not letting the Purple Thunder Great Tao completely shatter. Otherwise, his Tao would be destroyed. Similarly, he also couldn't provoke that being from the Blood Rat realm. Otherwise, if they fought, the Purple Thunder Great Tao would hardly survive. Lin Moyu thought, if Elder doesn't take action, and this junior kills that fellow from the Blood Rat realm, will there be any impact? The heaven-questioning Tao monarch thought for a moment. In that case, perhaps that fellow won't awaken. Lin Moyu made an sound, then this junior will give it a try. Besides this junior also wants to see if it's possible to repair the Purple Thunder Great Tao. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3516, 3516. Chapter 3516, it shouldn't be a big problem. Lin Moyu's words left the heaven-questioning Tao monarch stunned. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch couldn't believe his ears. Young friend, could you repeat what you just said? Lin Moyu smiled. This junior might be able to try and see if it's possible to repair the Purple Thunder Great Tao. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch said in a low voice, Young friend, don't joke with this old man. Although the Great Tao has the ability to self-repair, the Purple Thunder Great Tao is different. It's far from the origin continent, and its self-repair ability is almost lost. Lin Moyu said. So the best method would be to bring it back, right? This junior understands that the existence of the Crimson Blood Great Tao forms a balance with the Purple Thunder Great Tao. This junior wants to swallow the Crimson Blood Great Tao first, break this balance, and then bring the Purple Thunder Great Tao back. However, there are some problems. If strong beings from the Blood Rat realm come, the elder might still need to take action. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch's eyes widened. The more he listened, the more he felt Lin Moyu was indulging in wild fantasies. Lin Moyu was only at the 5th level of Tao Venerable realm. How could he swallow the Crimson Blood Great Tao? However, last time, when Lin Moyu used a technique similar to Hell, he did indeed swallow part of the Crimson Blood Great Tao's fragments. But those were just fragments, far from the true Crimson Blood Great Tao. Lin Moyu now had a smile on his face, looking at the heaven-questioning Tao monarch as if asking, "Do you dare to take a gamble?" The heaven-questioning Tao monarch pondered for a moment before finally making a decision. "All right, this old man will play along with young friend once. At worst, this old man can recultivate a great Tao, it's not impossible." Being at a stalemate for so many years, this old man is also tired of it. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch mainly cultivated the Purple Thunder Great Tao, but he must have comprehended other Great Taos as well. If the Purple Thunder Great Tao truly shattered completely, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's power would certainly be greatly reduced, but he wouldn't completely fall to become an ordinary person. At worst, he could recultivate and eventually come back. It was better than being at a stalemate for countless years, stubbornly holding on to a hope without ever seeing a result. Lin Moyu's appearance might be an opportunity. For beings like the heaven-questioning Tao monarch, to cultivate to such a realm, they must be people of great willpower and courage. Lin Moyu said, "If that's the case, then let's give it a try. May I trouble the elder to help this junior with some matters?" Having made the decision, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch wouldn't hesitate. "All right, if there's anything this old man can do, young friend, just say it." Lin Moyu took out 6 damaged black slaughter puppets. "May I trouble the elder to help this junior grind these into powder?" The heaven-questioning Tao monarch narrowed his eyes. "Black slaughter puppets." Lin Moyu smiled. "Elder has good eyes. Indeed, they are black slaughter puppets." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch said, "Did you go to the relic from beyond the sky?" "Elder is correct, I did indeed obtain these from the relic from beyond the sky." Lin Moyu wasn't surprised that the heaven-questioning Tao monarch could guess the origin of the black slaughter puppets. It would have been surprising if he couldn't guess. These great Tao realm beings had lived for countless years and were incredibly shrewd. They knew most things. Purple lightning spread from the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's palm, enveloping the black slaughter puppets. Cracks immediately appeared on the sturdy surface of the black slaughter puppets, and bits of powder fell off. Grinding the black slaughter puppets into powder was an easy task for the heaven-questioning Tao monarch, also revealing that his strength was actually very powerful. Lin Moyu wasn't idle either. He took out 9th grade origin crystals given by the dragon race and also began grinding them into powder. While grinding, he said, "Elder, you should have guessed what I'm going to do, right?" The heaven-questioning Tao monarch chuckled. "If this old man couldn't guess this, all these years would have been lived in vain." Lin Moyu said, "I'm very curious, why doesn't the Great Tao Formation sect come here to set up a formation? Their formations should be able to bring the Purple Thunder Great Tao back." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch's eyes revealed a hint of disdain. "Those arrogant fellows, this old man can't invite them." Just this one sentence revealed that the heaven-questioning Tao monarch didn't like the Great Tao Formation sect. Lin Moyu continued to ask, "Could it be that they ask for a very high price?" The heaven-questioning Tao monarch said in a low voice, "It's not a question of high or low, but of reasonable or unreasonable. If it was just a high price, this old man could accept it. Even if it was a bit outrageous, it wouldn't be a big deal. But their demands are not just outrageous, they're completely unacceptable." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch didn't specify, but it could be imagined that for him to be so averse, the demands must have been extremely unreasonable. So unreasonable that the heaven-questioning Tao monarch would rather waste countless years guarding here than agree, which says a lot. Lin Moyu continued, "It seems the Great Tao Formation sect isn't very welcome in the outer sky Great Tao." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch snorted coldly. "Who would welcome them? Just because they've grasped the origin formation, they think the position of Tao Lord of the Formation Great Tao is in their pocket. Nonsense. They're already so arrogant before even producing a Tao Lord. Heaven knows what they'd be like if they really produced one." If it wasn't for them not giving their all, the losses in the origin catastrophe wouldn't have been so severe. Lin Moyu was very clear about how terrifying the role a powerful formation master could play in a great battle. But he also had doubts. Even if the Great Tao Formation sect is arrogant, surely not everyone is like that. In an entire sect, with so many people, there must be some with different ideas. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch said in a low voice, "There are indeed a few, but unfortunately they're not top formation masters." This made sense. There were formation masters from the Great Tao Formation sect who took action, but they weren't top formation masters, so their effectiveness was much weaker. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch had ground one black slaughter puppet into powder. Lin Moyu combined the powder of 10 origin crystals with it, mixing them with soul power but lacking Great Tao power. "Elder, bring some Great Tao power over." The Great Tao power Lin Moyu could draw upon himself wasn't pure and powerful enough, not as good as what the heaven-questioning Tao monarch could draw upon. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch didn't waste words. He opened his hand, and a ball of purple lightning appeared before Lin Moyu. This ball of purple lightning was the purest purple thunder Great Tao power. Lin Moyu drew out a strand of purple lightning and fused it into the powder, quickly becoming one with the powder. The powder transformed into a purple liquid, with lightning flashing within it. It had become an excellent material for drawing divine runes. If used to set up lightning attribute divine rune formations, the effect would be excellent. Lin Moyu said, "This junior's cultivation realm isn't high enough. To set up a Tao formation still lacks some skill. The speed might be a bit slow. Please don't be impatient, Elder." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch was somewhat uncertain. "Young friend, can this really work? This old man also knows the way of formations. If external Great Tao power is used for the divine runes used in formations, I'm afraid there might be problems." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch himself was also a formation master. Although not very strong, he understood the basic principles of formations. In his view, the foundation of formations was divine runes, the basis of divine runes was raw materials, and raw materials needed soul power and Great Tao power. Now Lin Moyu was using his own soul power, borrowing the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's Great Tao power. There was already a problem with the raw materials. How could he set up a formation? Lin Moyu said, "It shouldn't be a big problem. This junior will make some adjustments." Seeing Lin Moyu so confident, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch didn't say more. He could only hope everything would go smoothly. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3517, 3517. Chapter 3517, could it really be him returning? When all the materials were prepared, Lin Moyu began to draw divine runes. Lin Moyu was very careful, as if he had returned to when he first started learning to draw runes. He sensed the vibration frequency coming from the materials and adjusted his soul's vibration frequency to match. To others, it would be impossible to draw divine runes with impure materials. But in Lin Moyu's eyes, it wasn't so. He seemed to see the essence of divine runes. Why use one's own soul power and draw upon the Great Tao power oneself? It was simply because doing everything oneself would ultimately create materials that resonated with one's soul. And this resonance, to a certain extent, was related to vibration frequency. This concept of vibration frequency was something he had discovered when he first started learning about runes, and he had experimented with it without any problems. Now switching to divine runes, he thought it should still work without issues. Lin Moyu didn't realize at all that what he was doing had already surpassed the understanding of those Great Tao realm beings. Even Great Tao realm beings couldn't clearly sense the vibration frequency of materials like he could. When a brand new divine rune was drawn, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's eyes widened. It really can be done. Being able to draw divine runes already indicated that formations could be set up. Lin Moyu said, "Elder, I'm going to begin." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch, amid his shock, was filled with confidence in Lin Moyu. "Good, you may begin." Divine rune after divine rune flew out from Lin Moyu's fingertips. The formation Lin Moyu was setting up was still the ceiling formation he was most familiar with. However, he made some small modifications to allow the ceiling formation to move. Although it wasn't a Tao formation, because he used Great Tao realm materials, Lin Moyu believed that using the ceiling formation could also achieve some of the effects of a Tao formation. Moreover, what he was setting up wasn't just a single ceiling formation, but a group of formations. This formation group consisted of 108 ceiling formations. If successful, the ceiling formations would form a large net, with at least 3 layers inside and out. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch watched Lin Moyu's actions, finding them more and more miraculous. In his eyes, Lin Moyu was creating a miracle. A little fellow only at the 5th level of Tao Venerable Realm, actually using great Tao realm materials to set up formations. If someone said this, no one would believe it. If he had heard someone else say it, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch felt he wouldn't have believed it either. But seeing it with his own eyes, he had no choice but to believe. Lin Moyu's speed was increasing, clearly having adapted to this rhythm and becoming more proficient. The speed of drawing divine runes became faster and faster. Soon, one ceiling formation was completed. Lin Moyu didn't stop for a moment, starting to set up the second one, his speed getting faster and faster. From initially taking several hours for one formation, to later being able to set up one formation in an hour. Lin Moyu worked non-stop, connecting one ceiling formation after another, forming a formation group. The ceiling formations spread towards the Purple Thunder Great Tao, gradually enveloping the entire Purple Thunder Great Tao within, not missing even the tiniest fragment. Several days later, the ceiling formations had completely wrapped around the Purple Thunder Great Tao. Lin Moyu tried to activate the formation. The moment the formation activated, the Purple Thunder Great Tao seemed to disappear from this space. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch's aura dropped sharply with the disappearance of the Purple Thunder Great Tao. His connection with the Purple Thunder Great Tao was cut off by the ceiling formation. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch wasn't alarmed but delighted. Being able to cut off his connection with the Great Tao meant this formation group was powerful enough. Lin Moyu closed the formation group again, allowing the Purple Thunder Great Tao to reappear. Elder, it should be fine now. Next, I'll go to the Crimson Blood Great Tao side. If that fellow who balances with you comes, please trouble the Elder to deal with him. As for the other one, this junior will try to see if I can kill him. Having witnessed a miracle firsthand, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch was full of confidence in Lin Moyu and immediately responded, "Go ahead without worry. If that fellow comes, this old man will take action. But the other one is also a great Tao realm being. Are you sure you can handle him?" Lin Moyu smiled and said, "With the elder presiding here, this junior can borrow your influence and give it a try." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch made an sound. "All right then, you may go." Lin Moyu flew towards the Crimson Blood Great Tao. The convergence of two realms sounded very mysterious, but when truly unraveled, it wasn't all that special. It was nothing more than two great Taos colliding here, with two realms using the great Taos as spearheads to wage war, ultimately both suffering losses. The great Taos were used as the strongest weapons, neither giving way. However, in the origin continent, there were many great Taos. Losing one or gaining one didn't matter much. But the Blood Rat realm wasn't that powerful. They had too few great Taos, so they valued this one Crimson Blood Great Tao highly. The more this was so, the less Lin Moyu would let them off easily. Those who had once invaded the origin continent must pay the price. Approaching the Crimson Blood Great Tao again, this time he didn't sneak around like before. Lin Moyu came openly and righteously. He went directly to several larger fragments and pointed his finger. The skeleton hell appeared in response and quickly expanded, simultaneously swallowing several huge great Tao fragments. The hell fiends already had the combat power of 8th level Tao Venerable Realm. There was no need to be secretive anymore, they could directly engage. The skeleton hell stirred up a great battle. The Blood Army and the great Tao fragments resisted frantically, but faced with the 8th level Tao Venerable Realm hell fiends, they had absolutely no power to resist. Almost at the moment of contact, the Blood Army had already collapsed. Large numbers of Blood Army members were directly bitten to death and devoured. The Hell Fiends were emotionless killing machines. Although the Blood Army's name contained the word blood, when they truly faced bloodshed, they were routed. After the Hell Fiends eliminated the Blood Army, they began to frantically gnaw on the great Tao fragments. This time, the speed of gnawing was much faster than last time. The great Tao fragments were being eaten at a visibly rapid pace, getting smaller and smaller. The great Tao fragments were excellent supplements. The aura of the skeleton hell kept rising, getting stronger and stronger. From the current look of things, the upper limit of the skeleton hell is the 9th level of Tao Venerable Realm. Both I and the fragments of the gates of hell are limiting the growth of the skeleton hell. This is just under normal circumstances. If the skeleton hell could devour an entire great Tao, could it break through the upper limit? This question had existed for a long time, but Lin Moyu had never spoken it out. The reason he was doing this time was also to try it out. Perhaps he could create a miracle. There were many miracles in this world, and moreover, he himself was synonymous with miracles. All kinds of fixed concepts could actually be broken. Just like what he had just done, at the Tao Venerable realm, he could use great Tao realm materials to set up divine rune formations. So rules were meant to be broken. Lin Moyu felt that he had a chance. The skeleton hell became increasingly powerful, and the hell fiends became more and more frenzied. One great Tao fragment after another was devoured. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch watched, his gaze full of shock. He was shocked by Lin Moyu's actions, and also shocked that Lin Moyu had grown so much in just these few years. Could it really be him returning? ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3518, 3518. Chapter 3518, Invincible in the Tao Venerable Realm. Lin Moyu controlled the skeleton hell. As the skeleton hell moved, more and more great Tao fragments were devoured. In just half a day, those smaller great Tao fragments had been eaten up, and the skeleton hell began to fly towards those larger great Tao fragments. Finally, the blood army and the crimson blood great Tao fully awakened. Streams of blood-colored killing intent emerged, transforming into a giant blood rat that charged towards the skeleton hell. The blood rat looked very powerful, seemingly a bit stronger than a 9th-level Tao Venerable. Lin Moyu paid no attention, not even showing any reaction. The blood rat charged into the skeleton hell, then a dragon's roar sounded from within the skeleton hell. In the blink of an eye, the blood rat had been torn to pieces by Heiyu. Then, large numbers of the blood army rushed out from various great Tao fragments, frantically attacking. Some charged into the skeleton hell, while others attacked Lin Moyu. At the same time, on the main body of the crimson blood great Tao, an aura began to rapidly revive. It's finally waking up. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and legions of dragon cavalry appeared. Countless dragon cavalry soldiers charged out, engaging in battle with the blood army. Although the dragon cavalry legions were slightly weaker than the hell fiends, their numbers were sufficient, in the billions. The blood army simply couldn't break through. The undying fire exploded, and the skeleton king rose from the skeleton throne, joining the battle. For a time, the battle became incredibly fierce. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch was dumbfounded. He said blankly, "An undead army, it's actually an undead army. Could I have seen wrong? It's not him, but another. But wasn't that one missing? Legend has it that he went to the deepest part of the soul void. Could he have returned too? Impossible. From the deepest part of the soul void, no one has ever returned, not even that one would be an exception." The heaven-questioning Tao monarch felt he was going mad. There were many things he simply dared not think about. He watched Lin Moyu with trepidation, his whole body trembling slightly. This wasn't how a great Tao realm being should behave. He wasn't an ordinary great Tao realm being. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to survive the intense origin catastrophe. But even he was now in utter confusion, his thoughts in chaos. All kinds of emotions, fear, excitement, were simultaneously arising, indescribably complex. The blood army that had charged into the skeleton hell only lasted less than 10 minutes before being completely annihilated. The blood army suffered heavy casualties, being slaughtered clean in a short time. The hell fiends continued to gnaw on the great Tao fragments, their aura continuously strengthening. The being in the main body of the crimson blood great Tao finally fully awakened. An angry roar echoed through the void, making Lin Moyu's ears ring. The voice was full of anger, filled with hatred and killing intent. A giant blood rat appeared in the void. This blood rat had 6 pairs of flesh wings on its back. When the flesh wings flapped, huge cracks appeared in the void. Lin Moyu had a thought, and the skeleton hell appeared before it as if teleporting. With an angry roar, it directly tore open the skeleton hell, simultaneously killing countless hell fiends. The power of a great Tao realm being far exceeded the limit the skeleton hell could withstand. Lin Moyu reacted extremely quickly. The skeleton hell instantly transferred elsewhere. Although damaged, it wasn't to the point of collapse and could still fight. The previous move was to test the opponent's combat power and also to lock onto the opponent. The skeleton hell's soul lock was broken the instant it was completed. For a great Tao realm being, soul locking was useless. The next instant, Su Pu, wielding the cloud-piercing sword, attacked. Su Pu naturally couldn't be its match. Lin Moyu did this just to buy himself a little time. The Fortune Great Tao appeared on his body, and the Sword of Fortune slashed along the lock. At the same time, the Misfortune Skull appeared in his hand. In the Soul Void, the Fortune Great Tao was still effective, which meant that the Fortune Great Tao could also work in the outer sky. So, using the Fortune Great Tao, he could completely perform a Great Tao lock on the enemy. Su Pu attacked the Great Tao realm Blood Rat. With a bang, Su Pu was instantly sent flying. Numerous wounds appeared on Su Pu's body. Just one collision, and Su Pu was already severely injured. But Su Pu's block bought Lin Moyu a moment of opportunity. The Great Tao realm Blood Rat paused for an instant, and the attacks of the Sword of Fortune and the Misfortune Skull followed Su Pu, landing on it. The Sword of Fortune didn't have much effect on a Great Tao realm being, but it allowed Lin Moyu to complete the Great Tao lock on the enemy. By now, it had killed its way close, not far from Lin Moyu. Suddenly, there was a blur before his eyes, and the opponent's form disappeared. A flash of blood light passed before his eyes, and the Great Tao realm Blood Rat suddenly appeared in front. A huge force swept over, and Lin Moyu's entire body shattered on the spot. Just one strike, and Lin Moyu died on the spot. This wasn't the convergence of two realms, nor was it the origin continent. Great Tao realm beings could attack with full power here. With Lin Moyu's current realm, he couldn't withstand it at all. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch's eyes suddenly contracted. Lin Moyu had actually died. This was something he never expected. How could he die just like that? No, impossible, there must be something wrong. He couldn't believe Lin Moyu would die so easily. It was completely different from his previous understanding of Lin Moyu. The combat power Lin Moyu had displayed before wasn't just this. But Lin Moyu had really died, his body shattered to pieces. He couldn't have seen wrong. Purple light flickered in his vision, and the just deceased Lin Moyu was resurrected and reborn in the purple light. This stunned the heaven-questioning Tao monarch again. He had really misjudged. Not only was he stunned, but even the Great Tao realm Blood Rat was stunned on the spot. After being reborn, a drop of black blood appeared in Lin Moyu's hand. Black blood from the Black Blood realm. Lin Moyu believed it could be considered the essence of a Black Blood realm powerhouse. Origin level technique, corpse explosion. The technique activated, and the black blood instantly vaporized and disappeared. Boom, accompanied by a huge sound, the body of the Great Tao realm Blood Rat exploded. This time, they switched roles. The one shattered to pieces was the Great Tao realm Blood Rat. Its soul flame was burned to ashes in the undead eye, dying as thoroughly as possible. Lin Moyu reached out and grabbed some of the shattered flesh. This was a good thing obtained in exchange for the black blood, too good to use for blasting Great Tao realm powerhouses. Adding to the severed limb of Wu Zerui and a strike from the fallen Sword Star Lord, he now had 3 trump cards. He didn't need to fear ordinary Great Tao realm beings. The power of the Great Tao realm is indeed strong. Lin Moyu let out a light breath. Just now, he had used the Sword of Fortune and the Misfortune Skull to perform a Great Tao lock on the enemy. But the Great Tao lock wasn't smooth. The power of the Great Tao realm enveloped its entire body, and the Great Tao lock couldn't lock onto it in one go. So Lin Moyu used himself as bait, luring it to attack. He used his own flesh to lock onto the Great Tao realm Blood Rat. This method was very risky, but the effect was quite good. He used one of his rebirths to eliminate a Great Tao realm being. Lin Moyu looked back at the heaven-questioning Tao monarch, indicating that he didn't need to worry. Only then did the heaven-questioning Tao monarch recover from his shock. Lin Moyu's actions were really too bold. Without the obstruction of the Great Tao realm Blood Rat, the Crimson Blood Great Tao completely lost its defensive power, fully exposed before Lin Moyu. The skeleton hell frantically devoured it, and the Great Tao was gradually heading towards collapse. Boom! The skeleton hell suddenly shook violently. All the hell fiends roared in unison. They had completed their advancement, reaching the 9th level of the Tao Venerable realm. Lin Moyu clenched his fist and muttered to himself, invincible in the Tao Venerable realm. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3519, 3519. Chapter 3519, the myriad realms don't communicate, mutually generating aversion. Being invincible in the Tao Venerable realm wasn't just empty talk. Lin Moyu's definition of invincibility had always been different from others. For others, it was one-on-one, surpassing all at the same level to be called invincible. Lin Moyu's invincibility meant he alone could face all those at the same level in the origin continent, fight and emerge victorious to be called invincible. Of course, such an extreme situation wouldn't actually occur. However, Lin Moyu wanted to be invincible even in extreme situations. He would win with both quantity and quality, making the enemy's numbers meaningless. A full 10 million 9th level Tao Venerable Hell Fiends, what kind of concept was this? Even if all the 9th level Tao Venerables in the origin continent were added together, there might barely be 200 or 300. This already included the 9th level Tao Venerables among the beast race, not even 1/10,000th of the Hell Fiends. Even counting the 9th level Tao Venerables in the outer sky Great Tao, there probably wouldn't be too many more. As long as Great Tao realm beings didn't intervene, the skeleton hell was invincible, almost able to ignore numbers, that kind of invincibility. This was the kind of invincibility at the same level that Lin Moyu wanted. Even if a pseudo-Great Tao realm being came, facing the skeleton hell, they might not fare well and might even be devoured. After advancing, the hell fiends not even faster. The crimson blood Great Tao became their chew toy. Sharp fangs constantly ground the Great Tao into powder. The Great Tao was visibly shrinking, it was being devoured. Lin Moyu watched the gradually shrinking crimson blood Great Tao with cold eyes, muttering to himself, Great Taos can all recover. Some of the previously shattered Great Taos have partially recovered. But if it's eaten, can this Great Tao still recover? Faced with the skeleton hell's overwhelming force, the blood army stationed here was completely annihilated, not one left. Even their leading Great Tao realm being was slain by Lin Moyu. The crimson blood Great Tao had become a piece of fat meat, ready to be carved up. Several days later, the fragments of the crimson blood Great Tao were not clean. The skeleton hell had reached the main body of the Great Tao. The main body of the Great Tao was extremely large. The skeleton hell couldn't cover it entirely and could only start gnawing from the edges bit by bit towards the inside. Besides being large, it was also very hard. The hell fiend's gnawing speed was obviously much slower than before. However, Lin Moyu was delighted to discover that the skeleton hell, which had already reached the 9th level of Tao Venerable realm, actually became stronger after devouring some of the main body of the crimson blood Great Tao. The upper limit of the skeleton hell hadn't changed, still constrained by his own realm. But the skeleton hell was indeed getting stronger. Even at the same 9th level of Tao Venerable realm, there was quite a difference in strength. The skeleton hell hadn't truly reached the peak of the Tao Venerable realm yet. When the skeleton hell truly reaches its peak, will there be a chance to break through, breaking past the previous constraints? Lin Moyu thought to himself, but this was just a notion. After part of the main body of the crimson blood Great Tao was gnawed away, it suddenly began to shake violently, bursting forth with boundless blood color, transforming into a sea of blood that crashed down towards the skeleton hell. Under the impact of the blood sea, the skeleton hell remained unmoved, continuing to devour as before. Lin Moyu shook his head lightly. This is the Great Tao beginning to save itself, but it's useless. Although Great Taos have no consciousness, they have instincts. When truly in danger, Great Taos will also try to save themselves. However, this self-preservation is often like a drop in the bucket, not having much effect. The crimson blood Great Tao was now in such a state. Its final attempt at self-preservation couldn't stop the skeleton hell at all. Suddenly, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's voice sounded in Lin Moyu's ear, "Young friend, step back a bit. That fellow has come." Hearing this, Lin Moyu quickly retreated, but the skeleton hell didn't withdraw, continuing to gnaw at the crimson blood Great Tao. It didn't matter if the skeleton hell was smashed, it wouldn't take long to recover. As long as Lin Moyu didn't die, the skeleton hell wouldn't truly perish. Lin Moyu was the root of the skeleton hell. Lin Moyu retreated behind the heaven-questioning Tao monarch. "Elder, let's proceed according to plan." "Then all trouble, young friend," the heaven-questioning Tao monarch said in a low voice. Lin Moyu could see that the heaven-questioning Tao monarch seemed a bit nervous at this moment. Lin Moyu couldn't help but ask curiously, "What's the identity and realm of the opponent?" The heaven-questioning Tao monarch said, "The blood rat realm isn't a great realm, not amounting to much among the myriad realms. They're just a vassal of the black blood realm. In the blood rat realm, there are only 3 figures worth mentioning. One is their realm lord, also known as the Golden Rat King. Then there are a few subordinates of the Rat King, named Silver 18 and Blood 16. The one coming this time is Blood 16. Lin Moyu found it strange. These names are very odd. The heaven-questioning Dao monarch said, "These are names we gave them. The myriad realms don't communicate, mutually generating aversion. We can't communicate with the Blood Rat realm, so we can only casually name them ourselves." Blood 16 actually means his appearance is blood-colored and he has 16 flesh wings. Lin Moyu made an "oh" sound, so Silver 18 represents silver color with 18 flesh wings. The heaven-questioning Dao monarch nodded slightly, "That's right. When they evolve to 18 flesh wings, their color changes to silver. Once they reach 24 flesh wings, their color becomes golden. The Golden Rat King is like this." Lin Moyu continued to ask, "Then what about their specific strength?" The heaven-questioning Dao monarch said, "The Golden Rat King is the strongest in the Blood Rat realm, but in terms of realm, he, Silver 18, and Blood 16 are all Dao lords, just differing in strength. Although Blood 16 is a Dao lord, that's within the Blood Rat realm. Here, he can't exert his full strength. This old man can still handle him." Lin Moyu made comparisons. If the three strongest rats in the Blood Rat realm were only at this level of strength, no wonder it wasn't a powerful realm. At this point, the heaven-questioning Dao monarch added, "Although the Blood Rat realm isn't strong in power, their troublesome point is their numbers. The number of beings in the Blood Rat realm is astonishing. When strong beings are tied up and unable to act, the Blood Army entering the Origin Continent caused us no small trouble." Lin Moyu understood. The Blood Army entering the Origin Continent mainly targeted all living beings on the Origin Continent. Their true goal was to cut off the roots of the Origin Continent. As for the strong beings in the Origin Continent, naturally others would deal with them. "Rat-sea tactics," Lin Moyu muttered to himself. He knew that if it were him, he would probably do the same. For any world or race, once its roots are cut off, it would take an unimaginably long time for that race or world to recover. As long as 7 or 8 out of 10 people below the Great Dao realm in the Origin Continent were killed, the Origin Continent simply couldn't recover in a short time. This, short time, would be measured in tens of millions of years. The heaven-questioning Dao monarch looked into the distance, his eyes flashing with light. "This old man is going. I'll leave this place to you, young friend." As his words fell, the heaven-questioning Dao monarch instantly rushed into the void. Just 1 second later, shocking auras erupted from the depths of the void. The two sides had already engaged in battle. Lin Moyu saw purple lightning flashing in the pitch-black void, and a sea of blood boiling. Waves of vast auras rippled out from within the void. He had a thought, and the skeleton hell intensified its devouring of the crimson blood Great Dao. Heiyu flew out with a dragon's roar, joining in the devouring. Heiyu bit down again and again, making sounds of metal clashing. Each bite could tear off a piece of the Great Dao. Lin Moyu called out in a low voice, "Activate formation." The sealing formation group was activated. At the same time, a streak of purple lightning appeared from the void, following the purple thunder Great Dao straight to the distance. At this moment, the heaven-questioning Dao monarch indicated the direction for the purple thunder Great Dao, signaling Lin Moyu to move the Great Dao in that direction. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a. Chapter 3520, 3520. Chapter 3520, Dragging the Great Dao Home. Lin Moyu and the heaven-questioning Dao monarch had agreed that once the battle began, the heaven-questioning Dao monarch would block Blood 16 while the battle would change the balance between the Crimson Blood Great Dao and the Purple Thunder Great Dao. Once the balance was broken, Lin Moyu would have the opportunity to use the sealing formation to drag the Purple Thunder Great Dao back to the area of the Origin Continent. As long as the Purple Thunder Great Dao could return to the area of the Origin Continent and re-enter the world of the Outer Sky Great Dao, it would be able to recover in the Outer Sky Great Dao. Moreover, with the appearance of the Skeleton Hell, the Crimson Blood Great Dao had been severely damaged, and the balance had already been broken. Now the advantage was on Lin Moyu's side. The battle between Blood 16 and the heaven-questioning Dao monarch was fierce, with both sides displaying their skills. Purple thunder roared as the heaven-questioning Dao monarch went all out from the start. His entire body was enveloped in lightning, becoming like a thunder god. Bolt after bolt of purple lightning struck out, constantly shattering the void. Blood 16 spread his flesh wings, 16 wings covering the sky and earth, scattering boundless blood chi that transformed into armor, firmly blocking the thunder strikes. The blood chi polluted the void, turning large areas of it blood-colored, in turn surrounding the sea of lightning and pressing against the heaven-questioning Tao monarch. Lin Moyu watched for a while and could already see that the heaven-questioning Tao monarch was clearly at a disadvantage. No wonder the heaven-questioning Tao monarch had been nervous earlier. There was indeed a gap in their strength, and he could only do his best to fight. Purely in terms of realm, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch was slightly weaker than Blood 16, so this situation was quite normal. Elder, please hold on for a while longer. Lin Moyu seized the time, working hard to drag the great Tao. A full 108 ceiling formations, divided into 3 layers inside and out, interwove to form a thick net, with an effect stronger than a low-grade Tao formation. Lin Moyu used all his strength to drag this net, pulling the purple thunder great Tao towards the direction of the origin continent. He didn't know how far the distance was, only that following the correct direction, the great Tao could be dragged even if it cost him his life. The skeleton hell was still devouring the main body of the crimson blood great Tao, having swallowed about 20% so far. Looking at the current situation, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch probably wouldn't be able to hold on until the crimson blood great Tao was completely devoured. Not only that, even the purple thunder great Tao might not be able to be dragged back. The road back to the origin continent wasn't short and would take time. Thunder roared on the heaven-questioning Tao monarch's body, bolt after bolt of purple lightning striking out. Large areas of the void were covered in purple lightning, and countless cracks were torn in the sea of blood. At this moment, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch had transformed into a purple blazing sun, incredibly dazzling. Lin Moyu suddenly turned his head to look at another part of the void, where 2 equally powerful auras were rapidly approaching. Are these the reinforcements the heaven-questioning elder called? Unexpectedly, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch had a backup plan, having called 2 helpers. Although the 2 Tao monarchs rushing over weren't as high in realm as the heaven-questioning Tao monarch, they weren't far off, at least able to help. Moreover, the great Taos they used weren't the purple thunder great Tao, so their strength hadn't been damaged. Lin Moyu's heart settled. With them here, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch could definitely hold on longer. Perhaps they could persist until he finished devouring the crimson blood great Tao. Blood 16 roared incessantly, his flesh wings spewing boundless fresh blood. The sea of blood boiled and churned, the entire void a crimson expanse. Numerous blood rats emerged from the sea of blood. Although the blood rats weren't strong, their numbers were too great, the sight making one's skin crawl. The blood rats used rat sea tactics to delay the 2 helpers the heaven-questioning Tao monarch had summoned. Blood 16 focused all his efforts on dealing with the heaven-questioning Tao monarch, trying to force him back. Killing was difficult, but forcing a retreat wasn't so hard. Once the heaven-questioning Tao monarch retreated, Blood 16 would surely come to stop them from taking away the purple thunder great Tao, restoring the balance between the 2 great Taos. Moreover, Blood 16 would certainly guard this place for a long time in the future. Lin Moyu didn't quite understand why the blood rat realm would do this, but there must be a reason for doing so. Whatever the reason, what the blood rat realm wanted to do was what he needed to prevent. With a thought, the undead army mobilized. 100 legion commanders acted together, commanding 10 billion dragon cavalry to charge over. When it came to numbers, Lin Moyu had never been afraid. He only needed to move a finger to form an overwhelming advantage in numbers. These dragon cavalry charged into the sea of blood, ignoring Blood 16 and directly dealing with the emerging blood rats. Lin Moyu's voice carried over from afar, "I'll handle these blood rats. Would the 2 elders please go help the heaven-questioning elder?" The 2 great Tao realm beings rushed towards the heaven-questioning Tao monarch, leaving the blood rats for the dragon cavalry to deal with. The dragon cavalry were much weaker than the blood rats, but their numbers were sufficient to delay them. Blood 16 used rat sea tactics, so Lin Moyu used dragon cavalry sea tactics. Lin Moyu indicated that he had plenty of dragon cavalry, as many as needed, and could summon more if not enough. With the addition of the 2 great Tao realm beings, both sides fell into a stalemate again. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch was no longer at a disadvantage. 3 against 1, they were evenly matched. Lin Moyu continued to drag the purple thunder great Tao away. Gradually, the purple thunder great Tao moved further and further from this area of void. Suddenly, the ceiling formation rumbled and shook. A force suddenly appeared, grabbing hold of the purple thunder Great Tao, not letting it leave. The force came from the crimson blood Great Tao. The crimson blood Great Tao seemed to be restricting the purple thunder Great Tao, not allowing it to leave. The two Great Taos had been here for countless years, always restraining each other. Now that the purple thunder Great Tao wanted to leave, the crimson blood Great Tao didn't agree. Lin Moyu chuckled lightly. It can barely protect itself, yet still wants to manage others. The crimson blood Great Tao's instinct made it stop the purple thunder Great Tao, but it truly could barely protect itself now. The skeleton hell was frantically devouring it. At this rate, the crimson blood Great Tao itself wouldn't last long. Blood 16 clearly saw this point too and became increasingly anxious, but no matter how anxious he became, it was useless. Billions of blood lights exploded, with some of the blood lights bombarding towards Lin Moyu. The wings of time curse gently vibrated, and Lin Moyu avoided the blood lights. The distance between them was far, giving Lin Moyu enough space to maneuver. However, the blood lights suddenly turned. Some of them abruptly changed direction to bombard the ceiling formation, while others bombarded the skeleton hell. Over 10 ceiling formations were instantly shattered, and the skeleton hell was also struck with huge cracks by the blood lights, nearly breaking apart. Lin Moyu had truly experienced Blood 16's power. Just a casual strike had caused such a result. If it had landed on him, he might have had to die once. The heaven-questioning Tao monarch shouted, "Entangle him, don't let him have a free hand." Obviously, the heaven-questioning Tao monarch had realized they couldn't let Blood 16 break the ceiling formation. Lin Moyu had already started repairing the ceiling formation. Fortunately, he had divided the ceiling formation group into 3 layers inside and out earlier. The ones that were shattered were all in the outer layer, with the 2 inner layers still usable. The skeleton hell was also self-repairing, the impact not too significant. At the same time, the wings of time curse gently vibrated, curse after curse falling on Blood 16. The power of time and space fused into space-time power, also landing on Blood 16. Although the difference in strength between them was huge, Lin Moyu was definitely not the type to take a beating without fighting back. No matter how strong you are, if you hit me, I'll hit back. The curses and space-time power intertwined. Even someone as strong as Blood 16 was somewhat affected. The effect wasn't great, but added to the siege of the heaven-questioning Tao monarch and the other 2, it still caused him some problems, unable to free up his hands again. Lin Moyu could also focus on dragging the Great Tao home. ko-fi.com/translate-toki only donate if you want to. My Patreon is now up. Go to email protected translate toki. Remove the @ symbol and type a